Oh my goodness. Wow.
He might call.
Wow.
Hold it.
We're going live right now. I got to say, guys, this is a special show today. Welcome. Hello. I am just over this stomach bug. I'm feeling good. I hope no one has it out there. We were discussing that. I'm back to normal a little bit, and it is a very special show with our man, Terrance Reid, who we've been trying to get on for a while. He is playing a lot. He's busy. He's obviously coming off of a epic year, huge score last year. We're going to talk about that and much more. But first, Terrance, how are you? Where are you? Tell me what's going on.
Fantastic, Jeff. Thanks for having me. We're back home. I've been here for about a week after the WSOP. The WSOP hangover is real, but I needed this rest and recharge back at home. I'm going to take the full blame for not being available over the last few months. Feel like you said, on the road nonstop, but life's busy. I'm so happy that you guys were patient with me. Thanks for having with me.
Amazing to have you, and again, very on purpose as the WSOP Final 9 comes, not the November 9, but also not Zero Break, which you had last year. So I want to talk to you about that, what your thoughts are. Obviously, you're a pillar in the industry. You do a ton with WSOP and with the game in general. So we're going to talk a lot about that, and I want to hear about your final table experience as well as your thoughts on this one. But at the moment, you can see we're going to look at a last week hand from Osmirko, who is here again today, actually just in fourth place, pretty healthy, but does get it done. And you can see A7 and 9's pretty dramatic, where you get a set flopped against you. You got to hit that miracle, and he did. It would have still been in a pretty good chip position, but as you know, finishing out, winning a tournament's difficult. Nice to do it. A7 and 9's, two qualified hands for heads up poker, and on the wrong end that ended up working out. Paul Hung, very tough player as well, does take second. We do have a little bit of a break here before we move on to the next portion of the pregame. I do got to ask you about your thoughts. Would you have preferred Zero Break like you had, the break they do now, the November 9, or what do you believe is, as experiencing the final table just last year, what do you believe is the right amount, if you could put it in your own, like what you suggest?
I think for all things considered, what they're doing now is probably best. Give them a couple weeks, hype it up, give ESPN time to develop the storylines. And, it's just so rushed when you just do the very next day. You don't have time to explore all of those facets and break down all the spots at the table and dig into their background and that sort of thing. So I think that's good. November was just too long. Taking months off is kind of crazy. You come back a completely different player, like if you're prepping for it. For me personally, I enjoyed digging right into it because I felt like I had momentum. I didn't want to wait. I felt rested and recharged. And I felt like the majority of the players at my final table were not super pros. So I feel like the moment might have been big for a lot of people who may have been unprepared. I liked rolling right into it, but I think what they got going with the WSOP main is perfect.
Yeah, it seems like a nice compromise. I think if you make it, it's kind of cool. You have time to get your family out there, friends, kind of get organized, get fresh and relaxed, but also not enough where it's, again, that November break where it's like almost kind of antsy and just kind of crazy, and you're maybe overthinking the studying and having to decide if you're like not studying, you're maybe making a big mistake, but do you? So I think that you're right. I think that's just kind of enough time where players are able to kind of catch their breath, and also the media outlets and whatnot. But we'll talk more about that and your fourth place last year. But right now we're looking at the all-time ranking list. Pretty crazy stats. Artem, someone you may be fairly familiar with, won a bracelet this year, took second to Daniel Negreanu, and also is just dominating the GG Millions. Pretty impressive. 13 titles, second with 10, Samuel Vustin. But I mean, just leading in every single category across the board is pretty remarkable. This is over many years, but again, very, very strong player, Artur. And then again, some other players I'm sure you've covered and you've also played with here, some of the pillars in poker online and live. I think that's what's most impressive about that list, is you have guys that are dominating online and live, which is really pretty insane, right? Because this is Sundays, you get to play this tournament and then to go compete at the highest level and play live as well. And then this season, you can see Osmirko, who is here again today. He does have 2 final tables now, and he also has a title already. So in great form, kind of picking up and capitalizing when it was a little slow too over the summer when people were in Vegas for the WSOP. So the numbers were a little bit down and he was able to capitalize. But again, 190 today, big prize pool, 374 to first, plus that 10K Bahamas seats in for the GG Millions in December. We'll talk more about that. But anything stand out to you at this final table with the payouts structure? You can see 53K for ninth up to 374.
Payouts still looks, it's not super top heavy. It looks like the difference in first and third is 140K. So it's going to be interesting with the stack sizes we're going into this final table with is fairly even across the board. The storyline has not been written yet for this final table. It's up for grabs, and I'm curious to see how each player approaches it.
Yeah, and you're absolutely right. Not only is it not written, it's also very congested. This is one of the more, I'd say, balanced final tables in terms of chip stacks. Here is actually our shortest stack, who still has 19 blinds. Larin, I mean, that's a lot. 19 bigs. If you would remember your final table last year at the main, 19 bigs is not short. You can do a lot with that. And obviously here with one final table, 13 appearances, looking to get into the black with a nice score for his entries. Also is fairly experienced with 3 million plus in earnings in the GG Millions. I would imagine you have not heard of Larin. Again, you're not playing, you're not online, you're not competing in the GG Millions weekly. Someone I'm actually not familiar with myself, so it'd be a stretch if you were familiar with them. But I think there'll be a little bit of a dark horse in one of the shorter stacks. Is that safe to say? You've not familiar with Larin?
I am not. There's only a couple guys at this table I've heard of, but like you said, I'm not an online guy. I dabbled in it back in the day, but I'm purely live now, so there's not going to be household names I'm familiar with. But hey, these guys look experienced, all but one, which we'll get to, I'm sure.
Yes, and Duco Haven, someone that we are very familiar with here at the GG Millions. 4 wins. He is going to lead that category today. The most experienced, but 36 blinds, and he seems okay. He's in 8th, but that's a lot of chips to be in 8th place. There's times we see people with 6 blinds, 12 blinds, 15, 36. I mean, he can't even feel short, and that price we will see indicates that he's actually priced at 8.6 to 1 to win. So still, again, wide open, and we'll see how Duco can fare. Got to put him in as one of the people I believe can have a lot of success today. You can see those stats, very impressive, and at 18 million in earnings in GG alone. So that is pretty impressive stuff. Great player. As we go into the next one, Clarity, new here on the GG Millions. It's first final table for Clarity, 2 appearances, so a good start. Already has 136K in earnings, and then GG 748. And again, not even, it's a Estonia flag, but someone that we have not seen play here before. And how would you approach that if you don't know the player when you make a final table? How do you usually approach them? Do you wait to see kind of what they're doing? Do you try to research them? How do you go about someone that's unknown?
Yeah, this is Shilko, I believe, who is one of the players I have played with. But in general, especially online, if it's somebody that you have no idea who they are and you can't get any research on them, it's going to be extremely observant to what they're doing. Pay attention to every decision they make. Try to pick up on some quick timing tells and some bet sizing tells and those sort of things, which maybe not existed in these guys. But otherwise, you approach them with a baseline. Be ready to adapt pretty quickly, but super pay attention to everything they do early on.
Yeah, and there's another player, Arsenii Malinov, who we are familiar with. 1 win, 17 final tables. So again, gets here frequently, hasn't lifted the trophy often, but does get great results, and including 4 million in the GG Millions sector of GG as a total almost 17 mil. Pretty insane stats. You can see took 4th in the main event, 10K special edition for 760, also 3rd for 595. So shows up for the big ones, does have a great resume, and does know how to close. One of the players that has won. So we'll see if Arsenii can add to that today. And again, 47 big blinds. I mean, this is kind of crazy. I don't know how this is shaked out exactly like this, but I think this is our most congested final table, where the big stack is only at 64 blinds, so down to 47, and it's just super even anyone's game. Do you expect that to make the play be a little bit more tight, like people jockeying, they don't want to make mistakes, go out, risk premium being high, or what would you expect when you see these stacks like this?
I think it just allows for different play styles to come through, right? You're not forced to adapt one thing. You might see a couple of guys playing for the win and being less susceptible to the ICM pressure. And then some people, playing very cautious just because of the ladders are there and they don't want to go out in flames in 8th place right now.
Yeah, I think that's again, last week we saw bananas, felt like it was a knockout or something. People were just going for it, and it was crazy. One of the more, I would say, fun, wild final tables we saw. But today we have got another very similar stack, exact stack to be exact 47 blinds. And Velasevic, who has got 3 wins on 5 final tables, that is quite a ratio, hard to close. And that is something that he is specialized in today, as he is looking to add to that impressive resume, where a lot of this earnings from GG Millions out of his 7.7. And again, 95 appearances and a very impressive resume, including live. The Triton Jeju 125 took second for 1.8 million. So again, tough player, very strong lineup today, as we see our player Osmirko, who was just here last week and took it down, is back again. And I gotta say, momentum is a thing in poker. Osmirko in great position here. And is that something you felt over the years playing? Do you kind of feel that confidence, and when you're in the zone and you kind of notice things come in waves?
Big time, yeah. Just feel like you're locked in. Nothing can go wrong. You're comfortable. The bankroll is better, so you're playing a little more fearless. And you've been here before very recently, so there's something to be said for that. And this guy cashed 32% of the time that he enters this event, 4 final tables and a win. So, got to think he likes his chances with 48 bigs coming into the FT.
Yeah, I'm super curious how he'll approach this. Again, plays a fun style. Last week we saw that be the case, and I'll see if that is also the case here today, as it's much more jumbled with the chip stacks. But we'll go into our top 3 now. And Tsintao, if you will, with no information, literally zero. He has 10K GG earnings. He has got 50 bigs, and he is a satellite winner. So he is going for the ultimate spin here with a huge spot in our top 3. We're going to get to see a hand from Tsintao in this tournament. But again, this is what's that Nemo there? He's fine, and he's on a journey. He's got his book out. It looks like he's looking for quite a stop. It is here. Talk about this opportunity. Have you satellite in before, where you're playing for a large hit like this?
No, not a satellite guy. But when you get into the biggest spot of your life, that was the 25K for me. It was the first 25K I ever played, and it's just, it's kind of insane for him to be in this spot. That 10K winnings you referenced was the satellite, so his only cash is the satellite into this thing, and now he finds himself in 3rd place in who knows what is likely the biggest spot of his life based on these numbers, and we know nothing about him. So he's going to be one of those guys we're going to watch and see what style he brings.
Absolutely. We do know nothing, but now we'll know something, as the highlight hand is from Sunday. Very cool that get a look at our top 3 stacks, play a hand from this tournament. This looks like pretty deep, 20, 40K blinds. Looks like just outer final table. Sometimes it's early stages. This is pretty late, and, tricky spot. It is 6-handed. Ace-Jack suit is a very good hand, but when you get 3-bet out of position, you're covered. It's tough to play, and we'll get a little glimpse into how he approaches the game with the Ace-Jack suited, and he is just going to rip it. That is not necessarily conventional. He can't say it's insane, but I would say, it's aggressive, and then he is rewarded right away with an ace. So a little look into his game, just kind of, when he's got a hunch, bet a bunch. He did kind of ship it in there. Talk to me about that hand particularly. What would you kind of options there to jam, fold, flat, 4-bet? What are you kind of going through your head with that stack and that depth?
I think suited variety flatting is probably the more conventional choice. Who knows what the context is between these two guys, if the button had been 3-betting him pretty frequently, or may just know that he's an inexperienced player and he leveled himself into thinking that he was getting pushed around. Regardless, it tells me that maybe he's not afraid to put some chips in, which is exciting at a final table, especially when it's your first one. We'll see if he carries that into the actual final table here. But everyone who's made a deep run is at a hand just like that, where you might get a little bit out of line, you might go with your read, go with your gut, and you walk into it, and then you get lucky. I had several of those on my way to the FT, and whether that calms him down, he's like, oh, I better not do that again, or gives him some of that winner's tilt. It's like, oh, I'm invincible. Anything can, I can do no wrong. We'll see if he continues to put the pressure on with those 4 bets out of position.
It's a great point. And it's sometimes people, exactly, they'll say, wow, I got really lucky. Let me just completely slow down. Now I got some chips. I got to make sure I ladder, or you're just going to put the foot to the gas and go for it in an even bigger way. So again, that's what's fun. We don't know. We haven't seen him play other than this hand. And I think this is going to be a very challenging lineup. But again, sometimes the pressure, it's nice too. When you're in for 1,000, you've already locked up 5x your buy-ins. You're likely to ladder automatically a little bit. Although I will say, this is a tricky one where no one is just going to be all in right away. There is still, the short stack has playability. So I think going to be very interesting how he in particular does approach this portion of the tournament, the early part of the final table. And since we have a little bit of extra time here on the pregame, I do want to ask, last year, how much prep did you get to do, if any, or was it literally you were just like so tired, you went to sleep, woke up, came back and played the final table last year at the WSOP main event?
Oh yeah, I studied very little for the actual final table spot. We just didn't have time. Every night we were going to bed at like finishing at 2, 3 in the morning and then starting at noon. That was 6 days straight on the way to the final table. Finally, when we bagged up for the FT, it was like 7 p.m. I had dinner for the first time. I talked to a couple trusted, players in my life and one coach, and just talked about general approach. But we didn't really. I didn't want to get bogged down. I just wanted to keep trusting my game. And I felt a lot like this guy might, where I felt like I had already won. Like, played the biggest buy-in of my life, had no plans of playing it, and then just I'm at the final table with $1 million locked up. So there's something to be said for that, feeling free and to just let the game come to you and not overthink things. That was my approach. If I had 3 weeks off, I probably would approach it differently, but I felt good just going with momentum and doing what got me there.
Yeah, very makes a ton of sense. Exactly. That is nuts to have 0 days break though. Like literally not one. That is all time. That doesn't, just kind of blows my mind to think about that, but very interesting experience. It still worked out pretty well. 4 mil, or what, 3 million, right? You got fourth for 3 million last year?
Fourth for 3 million. Yeah. I would have taken third for 4 million, interposed those two, but yeah, 3 million it was.
It's a great score. Well, here's another player with a great score opportunity in second place. They 52 bigs, again, very tight. So not like a big difference between third, fourth, fifth by any means, but is in a spot, we'll call him AS there, Sapitavicius, who is in a, I would say, new to GG Millions, hasn't really had much success here. No final tables, 162 in earnings off of 16 buy-ins. So he is looking to capitalize today. Also has some solid results, and he took $730 to 134K first place, and also online in a WSOP there, a bounty. So some good results. But we're going to get to see Jack Deuce suited in the small blind again, sort of middle late stages, 10-20K lines. Got 7-handed poker here and a likely blind on blind situation, but you never know. Maybe 3 bets gets a little crazy versus late position raise. I think this is most likely going to go blind on blind. That would be the likely scenario with this holding.
Yeah, curious, because both these guys are super deep in the blind. 60 bigs effective. Is that what I'm seeing? Might play a big one here with the suited jack.
Yeah, he's Javier, tough player, so that's nice. Short stack out of the way. Now he's got a tough opponent, Chris Nguyen there, very regular on the show. You can see that Austria flag, Austria-Brazil, very dominant on the show. And this one looks fun. So he's got the Jack Deuce suited with some back doors, but not a particularly great flop, out of position, covered with Jack high.
Yeah, a lot of guys auto bet there, but with 2 cards under the 6, so good for the big blind range. I don't mind the check. Curious if we'll go for a check raise with all the backdoors. Okay, now we get one of the best cards in the deck for our actual hand.
Yes, that is the ace of clubs brings the flush draw and a gut shot, as well as potentially, he could have definitely has some aces limping in there, so he is going to go with the check again. So far, nothing super interesting, but yeah, maybe some check raises here. Maybe just if it does check, we'll see a river. But either way, he's definitely not folding, and there is a rather large bet compared to the pot. Healthy bet.
Really curious to see a bet from Chris here with the ace is so much better for the small blind's range, but maybe he just assumes after he sees 2 checks that, oh boy, and we get there both ways on the river.
Yeah, that is a nice card. So now there's numerous possible straights. Like the check, slips it over, hopes to get a big check raise in here. I mean, he has not the nuts, but effectively the nuts, right? Loses to the king high, queen high flush draw. Almost, it is the nuts, really, how the hand has been played.
Yeah, really gotta think the queen would have bet. So it's just the king high flush he's worried about, and that's so unlikely. Very possible that Chris can have a deuce out of the big blind with just checking behind. So looking to cooler a straight here with the backdoor flush.
Yeah, I mean, you could even have 6-7 that he decided not to bet the flop, possibly, or some sort of other straight than the deuce. I mean, there's likely would have bet 6-7, but let's see here, a big raise, and we'll see a Chris does pay it off or not, but as played, I mean, again, pretty straightforward, but good run out. And he is going to hopefully, in his mind, get called. And probably does, right? He's got a big stack. It'd be interesting if he got raised, right? That would be pretty sickening, but I don't think he would fold. It'd be really hard. I mean, what, the king of clubs?
Like king 6 with the king of clubs, something like that would be the only candidate that really makes a lot of sense. Hard to do without the king of clubs, so what card goes with it? Wow. Okay, so he did check behind with the queen. River's 2 pair, just absolutely brutal river card for a win.
It is like you kind of feel your beat, but you also block the flush. You have 2 pairs, and then you think, well, your opponent raised on that board with that much with the deuce. So it's like he's basically repping the flush. You have the queen of clubs. I get it. I think that's, again, very much so. There's exploitive and GTO, and then it comes down to maybe you have to call GTO, maybe in an exploitative environment versus a player. If you think he's just never capable of bluffing, you could fold, but that's a tough ask there. And again, blind on blind, wide ranges. So very cool hand. There's a look at our second place player stack. And here's a guy we have seen a fair amount of, Borovkov, who is a very tough player, and he's got 5 final tables. Hasn't got that win. Chip lead today, but again, not by a lot. So it's not like he just gets to go run amok on everyone, and things can shift a lot, the positions here. But we know that he has got a healthy resume, and he has a 64 blind starting stack. Borovkov, are you familiar with Aleks?
I'm not, but I see that he's the 4th most experienced player coming into this final table, but with 0 wins, you got to think he's wondering if this is the one.
Yeah, this is definitely a one to get if you are chip leader and you have been here before. But again, it's going to be tough. We'll see how he can fare with this. We're going to get to see a hand again from Sunday, and a very, very tricky player, very tough player, and he's got ace-2 suited. And this is actually very early in the final table. You can see the 4,500 big blind level. So ace-2 suited, going to open it up. He's off to a nice start with his stack.
Yeah, extremely deep, and he's the table, second in chips at the table, getting 3-bet by the button, and 3-bet big too, by the way, almost 3.5x.
Yeah, it's a healthy race. And he's gonna, I guess, it's a highlight. We'll likely be playing.
Oh, what a flop for the ace deuce. The combo draw playing infinite effective. This could be one that we're just happy to get the chips in even.
Yeah, this is not one you will fold. The over, nut flush draw, gut shot. It is a 3-bet pot, and this is going to be a big pot, which likely goes to our chip leader way. But we'll see. Let's see. It's also, I guess that's just It's never not. He's never folding, so this is not going to be where he gets blown off. And let's see what we are against. Going to be the ace now, so improves to top pair.
Interesting card, much better for the 3-better, and somehow he hits it. Most of his aces, if he were to have one, Aleks, that is the ace high flush draw. So strong range versus strong range here after check raising that flop. He could have all the sets of 4s and 5s as well when he pulls that check raise, and the button cannot. So curious to see if the button takes a stab here and how Aleks responds. There it is.
Yeah, I mean, the thing is, the ace-2 spades, your hand's too good, but you don't love it, right? Like, all the value you're getting beaten. Now on the river, same thing. Like, you beat kings, you beat some bluffs, but you don't, like, this is not a particularly great spot. You lose to all the ace. You have the worst kicker, right? So it's aces with queens. You lose to any ace. I mean, this is pretty sick, but I don't know. Like, this is actually a very tough spot.
I like the call on the turn, keep all his bluffs in. Otherwise, he can play perfectly against you. But now this queen actually does help in some ways, because we can, we're chopping with the ace jack, the ace 10, and the ace 5 now, which were hands that could have 3-bet us. Aces and queens. Actually, we're not. No, the paired board.
No,
So we're
ace
still
jack.
losing
That's
to
what I'm
all those
saying.
hands. Yeah,
You
I
lose
see.
to
I
all
see what
the.
you're saying. Yeah.
You lose to the.
Just the ace five is what. Oh, with the eights. Wow.
Wow, with the spade, eights with the spade, but that is was that Osmirko? That is, I think so. This must have been before the rebuy period. It was that early. There's
Wow.
Dennis Schufrin, who was just featured on the Online Poker Millionaires and was guest last week as well. But that is a interesting hand, and Osmirko finds his way back, plays a big pot, re-enters, and then has found his way into fourth in this tournament. So we'll get to battle again, but that is that was a very interesting hand. And just, again, a little bit of a look into what Osmirko is capable of. Your champion last week, just willing to go for it in all spots. So nice call there. And that is not an easy call because you're literally beating, bluffs that you also have the spades that miss, right? Maybe you had King Jack, King 10 suited or something and 3-bet. But very, very interesting hand and a very, very big battle we'll have between the first and fourth stack today. Getting to do it again. And this is maybe the most fun part of the show, the betting odds, which is, again, if you have a GG account where you can do this, you are able to go into the clients and make your predictions by wagering if you choose. We will do this with our own play money chips with the 100 units and kind of have fun with that. But we'll put a real money wager dinner if you're up for that, Terrance, as I'll let you pick first.
Oh, yeah, I'm in. Especially if I get to pick first. You know what? I'm not going to overthink this. It might be the fish play. We're going with our chip leader, but not a huge favorite. And these odds aren't fantastic given that the stacks are so even. But I'm going to go with Borovkov and I'm going to wager 40 of my 100 units on our chip leader.
Okay, I like it. I like the pick. I'm going to go with Artem. I'm going to go with 30 on Artem. He's in good form. He won last week. We saw he's willing to bluff, willing to go for it. I expect to see the same here today. I'll put 30 of my 100 on Artem. Who is your second pick?
I'm going to skip our Tsintao, our new qualifier here. The experience means so much at final tables. I'm not going to risk it. I'm going to go down to a guy who shows he can close. He's got 3 wins in 5 final table appearances. Velasevic, where I'm going to risk 35 of my units on the 6th or 5th place Velasevic, who is extremely experienced and shows he knows how to win.
I like that pick. I will go 40 on Arsenii. Malinov, again, another experienced player. Very tight pricing there from first down to really 8th. It's kind of wide open. Chips aren't quite as important, although the seat selection is, and that is going to be where the players are in order. We'll see after the break here. We'll see how that works, where the biggest stack gets to go last. It goes in order. So that's it is important, but again, very, very tight here today. So I'll take 40 there, and your third pick, please.
Despite that pocket 8's hand not working, I love the guts, and sometimes it takes being willing to pull the trigger at a final table when everybody else is scared. So I'm going with 25 units on Osmirko as my final pick.
I took Artem. That was my first pick.
Oh, Artem. Oh no,
Sorry.
that was disaster.
Yep. That's good.
Okay.
Now I know it. We're aligned though. We're in the same headspace.
No.
So
in that case, you know what? I said I was going to skip him, but I'm going to go with the Cinderella story for my final pick because you left him on the table. I'm taking Tsintao with my final 25 units.
Okay, and I will take my last 30 with Duco Haven. Again, experience. It's just 36 blinds. He's 8.6 to 1. You can see it's really no different than the other players. It's so tight. He's actually priced up, even though he has less chips. He's getting a worse price than some of the players ahead of him. So kind of interesting. It does calibrate skill level and sort of the what the market dictates. So again, Duco, very, very capable, willing player. Let's see if he can get it going with 36 blinds and really, again, wide open today, as we do have Terrance on the show. We're very appreciative of that, and we do have him for the duration. We will play to a winner. There's no deal making at the GG Millions. There is on GG, but not in this exact format. And tell me about deal making. Was that ever a consideration last year? You're down to 4 players, 5 players, like so much money up top. Is that something? Could you maybe explain to the viewers? Does the WSOP facilitate deals? Can you do it on your own? Is that on your mind at that point of the tournament?
WSOP does not facilitate deals. It is not allowed. As far as can you do it on your own, it happens, obviously, but it's never sanctioned, and WSOP doesn't actually facilitate it at all. So it's a handshake deal that you would have to make and trust the other guy or whoever's taking the bigger payout. It never came up to me. Nobody offered it. I didn't consider it. I didn't offer it to anyone. At that point, the difference in $1 million and 10 million, while it's massive, obviously, I felt like I won no matter what happened, and I was just going to play my game and play it out. I didn't sell too much action. I had most of myself, which was nice. And then I was happy with the result of 3 million. Obviously, that's life-changing for me. It was at the time. And that said, I just don't chop. That's been my strategy for a long time. I'm not a chopper. I don't like it. Now, there's certain situations where you're extremely shallow and the money's very big. That wasn't this spot. We had plenty of play, and I felt good about taking my game and letting the cards fall where they would.
Yeah, and I got to say, listen, you're talking about there's also in the back of your head if you got 4 million, 3 million, 6 million, 10 million. I mean, maybe with the right lawyer you get it drawn up, but there still is a lot of uncertainty and trust, and that's if it's not facilitated. You're talking about 6 million. You're asking someone to click a button and that you don't know just on an agreement or writing something down on a piece of paper quickly. That's that's a whole nother conversation. But either way, exciting. Again, happy to have you. Thank you for being here. And we will be talking more about the main event that is this year and coming up throughout the show. But first, a quick break. We'll be back in 5 minutes. Don't go anywhere. Welcome back, everyone. If you missed the pregame show, we have Terrance Reid in the building. He was the fourth place finisher for $3 million last year at the World Series of Poker main event, as that is coming up August 3rd. As we know, the final 9 is set, as he has done a lot more than just that in poker, and we will talk about that throughout the show. But today, we have our final 9. It is a big opportunity for a nice score, and it starts with this, the seat selection. Here is where it is interesting and not normal. A nice little GG feature where the players, the shortest stack goes first and they get to move. But of course, everyone after them will get to go. The chip leader gets last say. Typically, you see the chip leader go to the left of the next biggest stack. With that said, today, I don't think that will necessarily be the case as the chips are so tight. I think that a couple of the players, will adjust sort of based on what they believe, maybe the skill level or who is tough, right? So I don't think you'll see Aleks Borovkov, who does stream, plays high stakes cash as well. He's got that purple tag. I'd be curious where he goes in particular. But for now, we are seeing the shorter stacks jockey. But look how tight that is. I mean, take away Larin. They all are so tight. 1.8 basically million up to 3.2. I mean, that is not much to give. And those 2.3, 2.5, 2.4, 2.3 stacks in 2.597. 4 stacks, basically the exact same. This is pretty unusual, as we do get now to the fourth place. The winner from last week, Artem, he's going to try to grab that button and take position on clarity, a bit of an unknown. Let's see if Tsintao, what he wants to do strategy-wise. He does move and kind of goes under the gun +1, but to the left of Borovkov, of course, he gets to change. So here we go on the last chip leader. Where will he go? Does he go to the left of Artem? Maybe he's so aggressive. He does go that route, goes to the left of Artem. I mean, honestly, no great seats, all very tight, but that is going to set our final 9 in stone. And we will be every 20 hands. The blinds go up, upper right of your screen. You can see payouts, lower left, actual payout and knockout. Upper right, it gives you the running time and sort of general information. Upper left, the hands. So good luck to everyone, and let's have a great show.
How interesting. Yeah, all these stacks being so similar, it's more about the player you want to sit next to or not sit next to more than the stack sizes, I would guess. But it's going to be jockeying for that first place position here. Who can win the first big hand to separate themselves from the pack and then start to take over as the chip leader?
Exactly right. First hand, I think I saw it was open ace-8 suited, then folded, and fireworks. I mean, there's a good chance. Like, listen, you want to talk about training, coaching. I'll tell you what you don't want. Your risk premium. You do not want to flip right now, queen stays king. That is not a ideal scenario. The edge is too small with the percentages to make that worthwhile. With that said, these are two of the more capable, willing players. Borovkov not in the business of folding ace king. There is a world where he flats, I think, with that. With that said, though, it's pretty strong. Under the gun raise, 3-bet, 4-bet. And I think Borovkov, okay, so I guess we're just going to be off to the races. Last week was so crazy, the amount of action we saw. And there's a chance he folds this. I'll tell you, there is a real chance, but it would be shocking, but there is a shot with as played. As I said, if he sees ace king, he wouldn't want to call off here.
Yeah, almost certainly. Like the question is he ever doing this with jacks, tens, or worse? And it'd be shocking if he were. Again, like you said, the configuration, the ranges are just so tight with the under the gun open, 3-bet from the cutoff, and the cold 4. Look at this, queens
fold
into the muck.
Wow. Wow, Borovkov gonna get a really nice result and separate himself. And to be fair, I think Velasevic thinks, listen, the guy is picking on an unknown. He doesn't necessarily have to have top of range. He is the chip leader slightly, and I'm gonna 3-bet. I don't think he was really. I think he was just expecting to take it down. He did run into a real hand. He made a fold, and listen, if he could see it, I think he would be fine with the fold. But that is a tough result, right? To get off to the start where you now lose a decent bit of your chips. You were slightly ahead, and yeah, very interesting hand there.
It's one of those things where you're just up against aces, kings, the other 2 queens, maybe jacks, and ace king. And the large majority of that range has you absolutely crushed. It might look crazy to fold queens pre, but when you talk about what hands you're actually up against, it seems pretty reasonable.
Yeah, that is well said. And I honestly I think It makes sense. And this is, again, tough spot for clarity. Pretty good board for sixes, but he actually is unfortunately against one of those hands that's semi bluff that would be hard to hold on here. He's going to get there, the ace right away. This is probably going to end it for him anyway. At least he's not going to, if it's a nine or like a queen of hearts, still going to feel some pressure, I'm sure, and have a tough time holding on. But as stands, we have got off to a fast start, but we will not see that flip for all the chips as queens did release.
That really could have set the tone for the rest of this table. It still did separate Borovkov a little bit, but not as much as it could have had all the chips went in there.
Yeah, that was a quite a starting hand. As not the best start for clarity. He's got involved with a couple hands so far. He's had to open and then fold. Then he got a pair where he had to play, and so he's chipped down a little bit. But again, still wide open. And Borovkov going well for him. He's getting a little glimpse into Tsintao there too. He does fold a7 off. Can't blame him. Risk premium high against the chip leader out of position. I don't mind that fold at all. But again, we saw him rip ace jack suited for a lot of chips, and now he kind of just gets out of the way. So let's see if he does change his strategy and sit back a little bit.
Things might start to turn around for clarity, like you mentioned. That's Mr. Alexander Shilko dominating ace king on the button against your boy Artem's king queen off.
Yeah, nice spot for him. He is gonna let Artem hear about it. Artem also, again, one of the more aggressive players we saw that in the preview. We saw him play last week, and we know he's not afraid. What's up? Birds in the chat. We do have you up. I am watching. I see a lot of familiar faces, some new ones here. Almost 500 have joined already. We are going to have another great show. It has been a pleasure to be here with everyone. Hope you're enjoying. Let us know where you're watching from. I'm in Brazil at the moment. Just got over a little bit of that stomach bug. If anyone out there knows what I'm talking about, I hope you don't, and hope you don't get it. But I'm pretty sure I caught exactly what that the stuff was talking about going around. So don't really know where it came from, but you've been all good, Terrance. No, you don't know anyone, or it hasn't been in your area that you know of? Hasn't
Hasn't
got
hit
that?
me. No, it helps when you just don't eat many vegetables. Yeah, so no lettuce in my diet and just pure meat over here, and that's all safe. So we're good.
The thing is, I knew about it. I had friends that got it or something like it, and I heard about it. So I was trying to be aware and not do that. Like, I definitely didn't order any directly, salads or whatnot. But again, it's not exactly sure what it comes from, and maybe even just like you know, it's hard. Those things are hard, right? It could even just be something else, but it is what it is. And just be militant out there. Be careful. I know there's a lot of little bugs and things going around as we see a 7 on the turn. This is quite a card. There's a double flush draw board. The 7 spikes. He's got the ace of hearts as well. And what a Yahtzee card that is. I mean, just an amazing spot. And interestingly enough, the shortest stack. He's the one trying to rejoin the party, and he's going to do so here. Almost certainly he's going to win himself a nice pot here. I mean, there's really not. I mean, there's scenarios where it slows down the river. Obviously, he just has to avoid a queen from his perspective, but his perspective, there's going to be some cards where maybe he doesn't get to get a big river bet in. That is one of them, the spade. That's going to maybe slow it down. Although, I mean, likely this goes. I mean, I don't think he's going to fold, and I don't know if Borovkov would even bluff this. I think he's got enough showdown not to, right? So, I'm very curious now what Larin does here.
I love the lead on the turn when the second card pairs. Very standard, especially for small size. Might look like a little bit of a block. You're going to get called very frequently. Love the jam too. I think it's just too weak to check. Bet small kind of puts you in a weird spot. This would be the size he would take if he were bluffing. And so I feel like you got to do it when you got one of the best hands you'll ever have as well. Can he get called by top pair once the front door flush comes in?
Yeah, tell me about, if you're Borovkov, talk to me about perspective on a heart versus a spade coming. Say that's, if that does, how much does that change for you, the front door, back door in this spot?
I think he actually probably has more hearts than he does spades just because he goes with the check call route off the short stack. If he had a massive draw or a combo draw of any sorts, which a 6-7 of spades up there against the big blind range is often a combo draw, probably happy to just get it in on the flop. So when he takes the lead turn, it's oftentimes backdoor hearts, straight draws, and sevens. And so up against that range, probably more likely to have hearts than spades, but a little bit of both.
Yeah, didn't think too long over. You can see that chess clock, every player there with 10, 11 minutes roughly. And last week, another thing, people played pretty quickly. So far today, that is also such. And look at Tsintao. Folds the A7 off in the big for the one open. And now he's just three betting the queen jack off. And I will say, my experience here on the GG Millions, the queen jack off nine-handed, you don't see that so frequently. So very, very nice from our satellite winner today, putting an aggressive maneuver early, and he is going to get the fold there as a good result for him.
That is curious. It's a question of whether he's actually a little bit of a maniac or if he just thinks that they will think he's scared, right? It's leveraging your image. They might not know much about him. They probably know he's a satellite winner or have never played with him before. So if they think he's scared, then he should do the opposite of what they expect and get a little aggressive, and maybe he'll get some tighter folds than he otherwise would have.
Exactly right. It's and then again you are at the end of the day too. You're playing for so much money. You don't want to overthink it and try to outmaneuver yourself. Where like, what are people thinking? How am I going to be? But I think that's like from a general standpoint strategy. That's safe to say. People are probably going to think that you are a bit, going to play a little bit tighter. So if you can mix in some close spots where you get to be aggressive, that's usually a great strategy.
Turn here gives Malinov some showdown, so might not have to fire. Obviously, he has the range advantage on the A-side board and had backdoor everything, but now he's drilled a pair. So curious whether he feels the need to continue here or just check back and take his showdown equity. But he's not going to have the choice. Just gets led into on a card that's pretty good for the big blind range. Lots of two pairs and straights come in. What a great bet, though, actually, from Aleks for actual hands. Doesn't get the value, but does take it down. Would have been interesting if Malinov actually had an ace there, how that hand would have played out.
I'm getting the tweet loaded up. Do have a pinned tweet for you guys. Can go ahead and retweet, and guess who wins? Going to give 50 cash for you there. I will get that actual URL. I'll drop that in the chat. And we are going to see again. I think I got a feeling this is going to be a battle. I just don't think then again, you get the ace, king, the queens, or kings, the aces. You get a cooler. Someone really takes a lead. Things open up quickly. But as it stands right now, we even saw our short stack kind of join the party and tighten it up with chips. So we'll see how this goes. Kind of fun, right? This is like a lot of play, more like a sit and go in a way where everyone's sort of closer in, or what's that called? The shootouts. Back in the day, those shootout WSOP events where you get to the final and it's really anyone's game still, as a ace four suited does get the trick done.
Yeah, and in those style of games, it's, oftentimes you get to a final table with a massive chip leader and everybody kind of plays their role. But when everyone's kind of even, early on, players kind of jockey for that first position because it's so valuable, greater than just the chips that you immediately gain. Future chips you can win if you take over that overwhelming chip leader role. So these guys might be going for that spot, hoping that they can then take over what the chip leader would normally do. But right now, like you said, kind of anybody's games, even though Aleks has been the one to separate himself a little bit so far.
Yeah, it's wide open. It is wide open. Osmirko's been fun to watch. He has really been the last couple of weeks. Just enjoyed watching his game, and he has really put pressure on whenever he can. As 6-5 suited, going to open it up. Ace-2 suited gets out of the way again. Duco Haven, 4-time winner. Started the day in 8th, but very healthy.
Are we going to see a peel from the 6-5 suited after the early position open? Performs pretty well against big cards, but he is going up against the short stack here.
It's an inviting raise. It is an inviting raise. It's also to the risk. The implied odds aren't great because he only has 1.3, 1.4. So he does cover, but it's not a ton of chips. I'm very, very curious about this. Very curious, and I would have been surprised if he did continue there.
Same. I actually think you don't have many raised flats there. I think you might have been considering the four bet jam, but decides against it. And hey, the short stack is off to a pretty good start. And all of a sudden is not the short stack anymore as Veslovich falls into that role.
Yes, it has gotten tighter, although our chip leader has extended a little bit of his lead as we see the king 10 goes for a healthy raise. Blind on blind, Tsintao with the 8-3 off should just release here.
Yeah, he might be a little bit crazy. Not that crazy. Good.
Yeah.
All right, some
So we've
good news for our shorty Velasevic. The ace king appears at a much needed time here. Off of 26 bigs. Again, when I say short stack, 26 bigs is our short stack. It's still anyone's game. But this one, just going to get through for the easy pickup. Bladed up alert. Alexander Shilko finds pocket aces. And gets absolutely no action. What a
yeah.
is there a worse feeling in poker at a final table when you wake up with aces and get no action?
That's tough, but I'll tell you what, it's worse is when you get your aces cracked, and we've seen that happen in some big main events and spots and aces to aces, even in the 1 million one drop. So again, there's that's the only thing worse. But yes, that is a deflating feeling when you know two here. It's so important if you're able to cooler someone or get a double. You're just in a great spot, and sort of right now everyone's looking to make something happen as ace three suited, a pretty open. Borovkov going to open wider than that, so he is under the gun, and this is again Duco Haven top of range. But again, when you start getting those suited wheels, your chip leader, people play back. You're aware they're going to play back at you more than others because you're opening so wide. So this does start getting tempting to put one in, right? But then you start thinking, am I going to make it 550, 600, and then fold to the jam? It's also not so appetizing. You've got the lead right now, and knows Duco's very solid, so he does pass on that particular spot. A close one though, but didn't waste much time thinking about it.
Yeah, he would have got the bad news immediately if he went with that one. Couple of aces here and a 3-bet chosen from Osmirko.
I'll tell you what, Osmirko is brave because he already looks wild, like from last week alone and other places. But like I mean, it's not a secret. He knows that people believe he is an aggressive player, so he takes a hand like that. He actually forces a dominating hand to fold, gets a great result. And again, it's not like he's in there with ace deuce off. He's in there with ace 10 suited. It's a respectable hand. It is 9-handed though in an early position opener, and he just kind of goes right at it and gets the better hand to fold. So cheers to him. People know what he's doing, and they can't really stop him at the moment. He's having good timing and good execution.
Yeah, that was impressive. Played as if he could see the cards face up. If a lot of people just take a flop there, and then if an ace comes, they lose a chunk of chips, and he takes control of the hand, even knowing his image, and gets an EP to fold. Wow, well done.
Yeah, nice execution. Borovkov Jack 10 decides to inflate the pot here. King Queen suited, very pretty hand. I mean, this is top of range, really blind on blind, and he is not dominating, but he is ahead. And the Jack 10 actually has a spade, 4-4-5, and he's got a decision to make here. King Queen suited. This is tough because Borokov's going to be super wide. You don't have a backdoor diamond. The board is paired with the 4-4-5. He does peel one, and now if there is a double barrel, it may work. But does Borovkov also, with no picked up turn equity, does he want to continue to tell a story here?
Yeah, it's interesting because obviously, you're behind all the ace highs, but I don't know that Alex is going to be putting in the double barrel with just the ace high. So you're ahead of all of the hands that are not made, right? And yet it's so hard to hold on with just the king high. You're beating all unpaired hands basically at this point, unless it's the ace high flush draw specifically. But still, very difficult to sit there and put your tournament life on the line with king queen. That said, Pretty good range for a big blind on this board. Might feel like he doesn't believe Alex and maybe could take it away if he is behind on the river. It'd be
I
curious.
think the interesting part here is like, here's the biggest question. If he has, okay, say he's got, I think he's going to fold ultimately. It'd be a pretty
Same.
statement call. But if he does call, let's say the river is a, whatever, I don't know, an eight is a deuce, pairs the five. Like, do you believe your opponent will follow through with a hand such as this that is bluffing, right? That's the biggest question. Because if it was as simple as, if I'm good here, I get to call and maybe shuts it down on a brick river. But like, that's the problem, because you got to be willing to then, what are you doing on the river when you don't hit the king or queen, or are you counting on your opponent if he's bluffing to stop bluffing? And I think he realizes Borovkov's not a quitter, and he just says, this is too dicey. I don't see a great outcome in this spot. So yeah, he gives it up, and another nice execution from Borovkov. And I'll tell you what, 8-9 suited looks very appetizing on the button. It is against a short stack though, and he will play.
Very important flop for Larin here. And it's a pretty good one. Top. Disconnected, rainbow board. A little piece there for Alex, but they're not super deep for playability here, even though he's got 3 to a straight flush. Slips it over to the chip leader, though, after a great flop. This has this has trappings of feeling very trappy. If I'm sitting on the button and I get checked to after an open from this guy, alarm bells would be going off in my head, but I don't blame him for taking a little stab here.
Yeah, there's going to be some pairs like sevens or certain hands maybe that give up. Also, like just with the backdoor hearts, he's got the gut shot. Although the gut shot does complete the potential for a bigger straight, but as played, no help on the turn, no heart. And I'll tell you what, if he does go barreling off here, I mean, this is a great situation for Larin, because was the he does still have top pair, top kicker. He wouldn't be folding and didn't have to fade much else. But now, as played, this is where, do you try to just get a little bit of value? Do you still check? Do you put a blocker bet out?
I think it's a great spot for a block bet. You could just get called by a 10 so frequently, or a worse queen. And then, you let your guy spaz out if he is bluffing. I don't think, yeah, I think that's probably a little too big to accomplish what we're trying to accomplish. I don't know that a 10, well, I guess we're targeting specifically a 10 and a worse queen still. But how many of those exist? Yeah, our opponent's just going to be so wide. With a hand like 9-10 of hearts, or 8-9 of hearts. That is, we want to let them put chips in for us, and that sizing, I don't know, felt like it was only going to get called by a queen.
Queens again. Queens we saw get a fold earlier. They folded to a very aggressive play from Borovkov with the reasonable hand, ace king. So Velasevic did fold that earlier. As we see GTO Wizard, shout out to them coming on, giving us some of their recommendations here. And it does say to bet small or check, basically split, and 4-5 suited. Quite a flop here. We could see some big action. The 7 of the deuce. I mean, Borovkov getting told he should always call. I wonder if he has a thought to raise, although I think that doesn't make a ton of sense. As GTO Wizard says, must call. He does do that. And now the ace is saying to check, as Borovkov will get at least a chance to get a river and may even decide to start betting, although curious what he makes that of. And so this is actually saying to do either, yeah, dead split. You can start betting about half the pot or check.
Yeah,
What do you
very
think?
interesting spot. I think seeing how Alex has played so far, I feel like he's going to lean towards betting and taking control of this pot, give himself a chance to win. He's got the ace jack in his range. He's got some aces as well. And Tsintao just, he's that guy. We don't know who he is. We don't know if he's scared. Let's put him to the test. I feel like that might have leaned him towards taking the aggressive route, specifically who his opponent is here.
So he does find the dead middle. He does bet literally half pot, so the mid-sized. He gets that spot on to what GTO Wizard would say if you do bet. And then the Tsintao does err on the side of caution, although you see about 2 out of 3 times they would recommend a call. Tsintao does fold in a very nice run out and win there for Borovkov, who was behind big way going to the river. But nicely done, and a nice GTO Wizard recommendation. Ace 10, Velasevic with the real hand, and Duco Haven, actually, we're kind of in that 20 blind territory, low pair, small blind versus a button open. I wonder if he just stuffs this in, right? He's covering, and then you got clarity in the big blind. I mean, it's calling feels a little weak with this. I think he's going to rip it, no?
I think you're right, specifically because Velasevic only has the 23 bigs. You know, if Clarity wakes up, okay. Question is, what's the plan if you get jammed on now? I guess probably to call off. This sizing probably protects him in case Clarity wakes up with a monster, and then it goes shove behind.
I will say if he gets shoved on now, though, I mean, yeah, it's a lot more. So it's 1.2, it's like 800. I don't know. Like, it's not really fun to call it off here. I think you're right. That's one of the reasons not to do it is you kind of get the information. Also looks maybe stronger than shoving, but I'm curious. What you think he would call if he got shoved on there?
It's
at
just
that
so
point?
close because he put in 1/3 of Velasevic's stack, which is getting to that point where we've crossed the threshold of being able to let it go. But I think it is close. I think you're right. You're very often up against either a flip or a better pair. So it's not ideal, but just when you put in 1/3 of the stack, I think my head is with that choice, it's to protect against the shove reshove and then go with it otherwise. But who knows what was going through his head there. Interesting spot here. Button versus big blind, same hand, one suited, one unsuited, and we're just probably going to play for it all, I would guess.
I'll tell you what, same principle though. If you're Duco and he has 5s or 7s here, literally a nightmare to call off and flip with this stack distribution. So I think I think he might fold. But we did see Ace Jack from Tsintao kind of rip it in the highlights, and maybe he thinks that he's a little bit more aggressive. But like, does he just turn over Ace 10 or Ace Jack? Like, what about when he has 7s or 4s or 8s? Like, do you want to flip? You don't. You do not want to flip here. That is the definition of risk premium suicide. So I think Duco, our 4-time winner, can find a fold, but maybe he does just wait. Tsintau's a little too crazy and could turn over Ace Jack or 10 once in a while. But I don't know. I'll tell you what, I don't think he doesn't like it. And it's crazy. Look how
Yeah.
strong a hand that is. Button versus big blind.
Doesn't like it, but yeah, we are a little deeper than I had originally thought, just over 30. And this is never going to be aces or kings, so you can get rid of that concern as far as the sizing that Tsintau's shoving. We're just raising not all in with the super premiums. So if we eliminate those, we're left with, like you said, the pairs, the deuces through tens or so. And then like worse aces, like suited wheel aces, the ace
Does
jack, and
call.
that sort
He
of thing.
ultimately
Yeah,
just said,
puts it in.
yeah, he said it's too much hand. 2 flush draws to 1. The 1 is actually got the free roll now, but usually the 2 is by definition a slight favor, just how that works. But all right, chop it up. Fair enough. Fair enough. And man, there's the deuce 3. It would have made clarity showing, would have got the wheel by the river. But as we go, 9-handed still goes on. And again, 30 minutes in, what I expected, where we're going to see, even we saw queens to ace king didn't get it in. So this is likely going to be a battle today. And appreciate everyone being here. 900 watching right now. We are going to keep it rolling. Got the tweet up, the pin tweet, Terrance. That is for a chance at 50 cash. See a bunch of you guys already doing that. And then we've got a 3 giveaway, 3 tickets going to be given away as well. $50 tickets, end of the show. Must be subscribed, must hit the thumbs up. And
a lot of people going with your boy Osmirko, by the way, on that tweet. A lot of people agree with that. People love the aggression he's shown.
We were talking about viewership a little bit down on ESPN. This has been something people, I'm sure you're following closely and understanding. Last year, obviously, at the final table of this exact tournament, and it's nice to have it back on ESPN. But I do think like that storyline having characters, and this is a very controversial. Martin Cabral, the William Kassoufs. Martin Cabral obviously is kind of been more active, right? He's like got a social media team. He's everywhere. He's playing everything different than Kassouf, but it sort of blurs the lines on like, is it good for poker if everyone's just got hoodies on and not talking versus, or if everyone's like Cabral? I think either is not good, right? Too much of one thing or not, but like it is nice to have sort of a mixed bag where you have people you can root for, root against, people that are giving personality, maybe pushing it right over the top at times in spots. But I would love your take on this because I do think that is fundamentally the biggest difference. I think we are kind of missing the characters that are currently there. Like back in the day, Umberto Brenes and the Shark, and of course the Poker Brad is Phil, and then there's Daniel. These guys are talkative and around and characters, but I think that is good for poker in a way. But would you maybe elaborate a little bit on how you view that?
Yeah, Jeff, I think you nailed it in that either one, too much of either one is bad. But if I had to, my life philosophy in general is if everyone did what I did, would life be better or worse? And I don't really know which one I'd rather play with, a room full of hoodie guys on headphones or a room full of Cabrels. I've played with Cabral multiple times. He's kind of a nightmare to play with, but it's hard to argue against viewership, clicks, the rail that just surrounds him and loves to follow him. It's hard to argue that that's bad for poker, right? It might be bad for the guys that have to play against him. It might be very annoying for sitting next to him at the next table. But this quote unquote term bad for poker it's hard to argue that when so many people love watching him. So I think he's infinitely better than the Kassoufs of the world as far as is he good for poker or not. Kassouf is very mean spirited at the table, doesn't really have fun, uses his stuff just to get into people's heads and as an advantage. Cabral does the same, but he does try to put on a show. He does try to entertain people. I wish he had slightly more bits. You hear the same three phrases over and over and over when you're playing with him. But in general, I don't think it's terribly mean spirited or mean hearted. I think he's trying to put on a show and enjoy himself. He does get into people's heads, he does annoy people, and I understand people not wanting to play with him.
Yeah.
But if I had to take my pick between him and Kassouf, it's definitely him. And I think when he's tempered and he's not over exaggerated and he's not bending rules and he's not being aggressive towards other players or the floor staff, then I don't mind having him nearby.
Yep, I think that's a nice diagnostic. Let's see in the chat if you would like to see Martin on the show. If you do think he's good for poker, put a MK in the chat. Let me see. I think I would be. I'm trying to think of him as a guest. I've talked to him about it before, and I'm thinking of him as a guest on the show. I don't know. I think it depends what version you get of him on what day. I don't know. I'm trying to think of him doing I don't know if I've ever seen him do poker commentary. Actually, what he would. I don't know if he'd behave or not. I think he would.
The only time I think he's done so is, sorry, as my dogs go crazy in the background, is during my WSOP Paradise run. He was actually in the commentary booth for a little bit of my final table. He was also rooting for and I don't know, maybe coaching Natasha Mercier, who I know you've had on this show before. So he was giving her tips and guidance throughout the final table run as well, and rooting for her. So it was fun having him there and cheering her on and being active and in the commentary booth. He was a little chaotic and very polarizing as far as if people liked him in the booth or not. But people love to tune in and see the chaos.
Yeah, I think that's part of the fun is we see here that both players gonna get the straight, although the King 10 and Jack 10, they both hit that improvement card. Yeah, interesting. All right, we'll see. I see some guests, please, bring them in. I think that unpredictability is kind of what is fun, right? That you just don't know what you're gonna get. Like a box of chocolates. We say every final table, Forrest Gump, phrase that for us here. That's how final tables are. But literally, when you tune in, you just don't know. Like it's like because it's almost like you don't know what could happen, right? It's like more. You know what you're going to get from him, but what you don't know is how the other people and players will react. That's the big wild card. You know he's going to put it on and be abrasive and stir the pot. But will someone react? Will someone freak out? Will someone give it back to him? Will people get run over? I think I'm one of the more qualified people with Martin because to understand him, because when I went to the BSOP, I did a commentary last November, I believe it was October, November. I was there for a week with Brian Rass. We did a lot of commentary, and Maria Ho as well. And so it was all these like, it was basically these 40, 50 person high roller series they put on for the first time in Brazil, and he played every one. So it was like him at every these like 4, 5, 6 table tournaments. He won one, he got second in one, he was deep, and then he was also obviously they were showing him some, but he kind of wore out his welcome there a little. He really did rub a lot of the Brazilians the wrong way and pushed it over the top. But we're gonna see a chop pot here. The not both players having the 10, but I think he was super interesting and definitely made his presence known there. And I think I really got to see him animated and a lot, right? Like every day he was basically on the feature or playing these 2-day high roller tournaments, and he did well. So I don't know. I think again, you broke it down very well. I think that's the reality. People like to see a loose cannon. They want to see a reality show. They want to see the possibility of chaos. So
Yeah, I mean, if you're somebody who just kind of everyone likes you, or people don't have strong feelings about you, you just kind of fly under the radar. That's not Martin. You love him or you hate him, and you want to see him, or you can't stand when he shows up, and that's just for viewership and for entertainment, it's a great thing. But he can wear on you. He can get to you. Like he did so to Daniel, and DNX did his vlogs from Bahamas last year, and DNX says, "I hope I never play with him ever again." Or, DNegs loves being talkative and interacting at the table. And I saw DNegs with his headphones on more than I ever have before. So, he gets to these guys, he gets in their head, he gets them off their game. And there's a strategic aspect to it. But in reality, that's just who the guy is. Like I've seen him playing at a craps table at 4 in the morning in Resorts World before, and he was just the same guy. And it's not he does put on a show, but it's not fake, I'll say. Like that's just who the guy is based on what I've seen. And I will say, if I had to do what he does, I could never do it. There's no way. He's just always on, and it's just ridiculous how much he talks.
yeah, that's a good point. It is like, I'll tell you though, here's my question. If you had to say, got a little bit of something going here, Kings versus 6-4 suited, a pretty wet board, very wet, double flush draw, straight draws, and King's going to just pick it up there. Didn't improve the 6-4 suited. What percent of it, like take 100% pie chart and you got two choices. What percent of it is like he's doing it to get an advantage? Because it definitely does. You see people react. People are reacting at the table. People do get bothered. What percent of it do you think is for him to gain an advantage playing and to get it there, or is it like he's got a store now, he has a personality, he is definitely a personality in poker. So what percent of it is, do you think, playing up to that and sort of that aspect, and the aspect being that it's for his advantage at the table?
My gut feeling is it's somewhere around 30 to 35% advantage and 65% entertainment, and that's just who he is. I think he
Yeah.
probably realizes it gives him that advantage, and he's happy to lean into it and take advantage of it. But I don't think he is that guy because it gets advantage. I think he just takes advantage of who he is because it gets an advantage.
Yeah,
Maybe
it could
he,
even have been where
yeah,
it became to a point where it, like, he started seeing that it really affected people. He's
yeah.
like, man, let me utilize this accordingly. So as we see a real hand here, Aleks Borovkov with a powerful hand, and I'll tell you what, this is got. Let's see, can Artem just sit one out? No, he's not going to fold. He's not going to four bet. He's just going to call, and we get the king still healthy in the lead, although the ace 10 does have the 3 working. And curious if no diamonds. I wonder if this will just end it here. I mean,
Our boy Osmirko has lost quite a bit of chips by playing many of these pots. The light peels, the suited connectors in position, that sort of thing, and he's slipped down to under the 2 million mark. Meanwhile, Aleks is expanding his chip lead. We were looking for who was going to separate themselves from the pack. It's been done by our coming into the day chip leader, Borovkov, who has 4.6, the next biggest stack under 3 million. So trying to jockey into that spot and play chip leader. Meanwhile, Ace King wakes up against 2 King Queens.
yeah. So I guess there's a world where, oh my goodness. Wow.
Is
Wow,
this
that
the
just
world?
put that into solver world. Yeah, the king queen suited. He just rips it. He's going to be dominated. We saw a queen has gone at least one. The queen still arrives, has to fade. Running spades, a jack, the king on the turn. That is not going to change. Needs an ace or a jack on the river, and it is not. And just like that, your big time performer Velasevic, who was a very tough player. I mean, he is one of the ones people are most scared of. 5 final tables, 3 wins. He made a queen's fold earlier, and he's going to be thinking about that. What could have been if he had played that? Maybe things are different, but as it turns out, he is our 9th place finisher, and Arsenii, aggression rewarded. What a moment for him. He is in good shape now. Wow, that was a big pot. Big pot.
You pass on the first hand of the day flip in order to get the chip lead at the final table. You pass on that, understandably, and then you get it in ace king against king queen with the queen dead, and you can't hold, and you're out in 9th place anyway. Wow, what a massive hand that was for Arsemii.
Listen, when it's in the cards, sometimes it's not your day. We won't know what would have happened the other way, but that was just, yeah, he got a better spot to his credit. Didn't work out, as we see 8-handed play now. Took us, 40 minutes to lose a player, as we will go into this next phase. Ace Jack gonna raise, and Borovkov, Queen 6, big little gapper, and he folds. Just says, you know what? All right, Artem, you want to attack me? I'm the chip leader, and you're nuts, but I'm going to respect you there. I don't have a good hand. We'll move on. He's got a good seat. I do like, it was interesting. So again, he had the choice to sit anywhere. He did go to the direct left of Artem, being the 4 stack. So definitely aware of that aggression, and wanted to be on the left when it was pretty close between 2nd, 3rd, 4th.
Yeah, I like that spot too, especially because he came in 2 to the left of the short stack as well. So you got the aggressive guy on your right and the short stack 2 to your right. You can open a little lighter, not worried about getting shoved on early on. Obviously, things have changed a little bit in the landscape of the final table now, but I think his choice was the natural one. Plus, he
Absolutely.
got the cutoff position. Start the final table in late position on top of that.
Yeah, so here we see a 3x raise, and Queen 6 suited. Defending makes sense. Checks back. The middle pair also makes sense. 420 in the middle, pot inflated with the bigger raise pre. It is blind on blind. A heart comes now, and we see a small bet. So this is still looking good for Sapitavicius, although with a call here, you're at 700. Look at this. So he actually just gets there quietly. And unfortunately, this is a 2 pair versus a low flush, although probably won't be much money going in the middle. I wonder if Aleks puts a blocker bet here ever. No, just going to be check, I'm sure. Nasty, though. That one,
you have to think, yeah.
That hurts for Sapitavicius. Couldn't really do anything differently there.
AS played it perfect. Check back, got the bluff on the turn, and just goes runner to get there. What are you gonna do?
Yeah, I wonder. I mean, betting the flop probably doesn't make a ton of sense for Sapitavicius. That was probably the only path to win it. Although I don't think with that exact holding against that action, it makes a ton of sense with the weak middle pair. So from his perspective, I get it. Why he checked back, just kind of unlucky there. As we see a mystery hand coming in here, 6-10 suited, Duco Haven in the small. We can already kind of predict the blind on blind, right? This is doubt he's going to come in for any other action. So, okay, let's see. 6-10 suited, covering our player from Estonia.
Wow, comes in with the raise, 3.5.
Good size raise.
Oh boy. Well, blind v blind, when you're coming in with a big raise, you flop 2nd pair and a flush draw. What more can you ask for? Plays it as a check, though. How do you feel about that, Jeff?
Yeah, I think, you realize here that you have a very strong hand, but you also want to keep maybe some bluffs in, worse hands, and doesn't do a ton to start betting. But I think it's a mixed strategy. Would have been great to see our friend GTO Wizard on that hand, what they recommend in that spot. As you get now very high up into the nuts, you make a 10 high flush, heads up pot. Now you're sort of in trap mode, but you lose to jack high, queen high flushes. It's pretty unlikely. You're a blind on blind, heads up pot. You are looking to win a big pot here.
Yeah, it's a question of how do we get the chips in. Something like 2.8 to 1 SPR at this point. With Charity, he can have a lot of aces there. And now the 10 comes in.
I mean, so you block boats, you have trips, you have the 10-eye flush. Now the interesting part is a mystery hand. So what are we gonna see, like a bet and an all in or something? And like I guess that would blow my mind because it's like he's shown no aggression. Like
Yeah.
what boat would he have as played where he checked, flop, turn, didn't bet, and then river would have a boat. But like I'm just kind of trying to get ahead of the excitement of the mystery hand aspect here. But if you're Duco, I'm gonna have a really hard time laying this down at any portion.
Question is what sizing is, unless this is going to be a mystery hand that just checks down. What sizing to check? Oh, very big. And that's the question. Do we go for the check jam or just the check call?
I mean, I think you raise because, like, again, what hand does he ever have? Is he, unless he's trapping you with Jack X or Queen X of clubs? Like, you can't really give him a boat, right? You block the boats. Like, does he have ace? Yeah. So I mean, I yeah,
Yeah,
this makes sense. I'd be shocked if he's beat, but I guess uh very interesting. Yeah. What I mean, let's talk about what are you calling with if you're clarity here.
yeah, agreed. But that's the question: is what are you getting called by when you check shove? It's just zero aggression. Probably doesn't have too many flushes. Probably doesn't have too many boats. I think maybe we're targeting just the final 10, right? Because that kind of makes sense. If we go check, 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 check on the King 10-7 after calling in the big blind. If we eliminate flushes, we eliminate full houses, but all of a sudden he's willing to overbet the pot on the river. Maybe we're targeting exactly the final 10 in the deck with this check shove because
Could he
that makes
ever
a
have
lot of
a
sense.
would he ever have a weaker flush, or is that just seems really unrealistic as played to not bet the turn, and then that yeah, it seems kind of
Yeah,
impossible. But
I
yeah,
think
maybe
I
he's
think
got
it's
like queen
impossible.
10.
Yeah.
Maybe he's got queen 10.
Yeah, when you call the three bet or call the raise pre, I think you got like the suited tens, you got queen 10, and you got jack 10. And you know, you never expect Duco also to have too many flushes or boats after checking twice. He can have more obviously than Charity can, but if we're trying to get all the chips in, you feel like a turn bet has to go in there by Charity, and he didn't. So once we overbet the pot, you feel like a 10 is the nuts, and then you just get checked jammed on. And after taking this long, you got to feel pretty good as Duco, unless somehow Charity does have one of those two flushes. You got to feel like the full houses are just not there.
Well, it's clarity, not charity, but he has got some
Charity, yeah.
charity in the chips going in the middle here. These are probably not coming back, and he may be out of the game. It's a mystery hand. We don't know what he's got. You can guess at home what he's got. Yeah, queen 10, queen jack. Guruv is on the case. I don't think it's a lower flush almost ever. So I guess that's probably what it is. It's not like ace seven or something blocking boats. I mean, yeah, that's the point though. What does he have? This is cool. I'm trying to. I think we got to narrow it down. I think you're right. I think it's queen 10, jack 10. And wow,
Oh,
oh the
the
straight.
straight. Okay.
Interesting. Weren't even didn't
Wow.
even have that in
You know what?
very sick, very sick, very sick hand at the end. He got the big money there. He checked very sick hand. Wow, Queen Jack.
Wow.
What a run out that was.
Slipped it to him 3 times. And you know what? If he has a straight there, then color me wrong because he can probably have boats and flushes too. And was just going for the super trappy. He checked back the open ender, checked back the straight when the flush came in, and then went for max value. Wow, you gotta love the heart there, going for it and just feeling like your opponent's capable enough to get you to fold such a strong hand. But unfortunately for him, that ace of clubs was the absolute money card.
That is sick. What a sick run out.
Good on Duco, willing to go for value. I guess, like I said, targeting the 10, but also the straights in there, worse flushes somehow. I guess we can be playing super trappy. And our next player falls in eighth place, and we are down to 7.
Down to 7 again. Very tight. The stacks today. Wide open game. Duco, our player with the most wins, now finds himself in second place, actually third. I'm sorry, but healthy third. And our dinner wager. Did you took Borovkov? You have Tsintao, correct? I think I have Arsenii, Duco, and Artem, I believe. Did I take Arsenii? I believe I took him.
I know you took Osmirko, and I know you took Duco, right?
Yep. And I think I did get Arsenii because I think
Okay.
you had Velasevic, right?
Yes, yes, I
You
did.
have Borovkov, Tsintao, and
Yep.
well, and I took Arsenii. Yeah.
I got 2 of 3 remaining. You got all 3 of your players left. Thankfully, I still have the chip leader, although he's sitting out for some reason. Come on, get back in there, Alex. What are we doing?
He's got stuff going on. He's
I got a
busy.
dinner to win. I need you to get back in the mix.
He's busy, man. He's got stuff happening.
All right. Well, I'm assuming we're going to see a defend here from Osmirko with the ace 5 off, but I might be wrong. But just knowing Osmirko, you got to feel like we're seeing a flop, right?
It's six-handed effectively this hand under the gun. I could see him even three betting in a world too. Yeah, although he did already get one through early, he does call. You're right, and this is both players have effectively powerful cards. 2 sevens actually with the 7 of diamonds. It's a pretty nice board against the big blind. Of course, he can have some of that, but he does go with the check back and a double gutter. All of a sudden, ace five is got a double gutter, and does he want to start telling a story here? Does go half pot.
I think he's going to lean that way, especially holding the ace of hearts. You can, get creative on some heart rivers, depending what they are, and you've got a lot of equity. But this is a terrible card. Um, Against the pocket sevens, he's up against the sevens. Looked like a fantastic hand against a big blind range.
If you're Artem, there is a world where like on this board, two double flush board, there's some king queen suited, queen jack suited, jack 10 suited, although maybe they would be betting the flop. Although maybe not with the big blind on that board against an aggressive player. You might check back king jack of diamonds, king jack of hearts, not necessarily just go out and lead. So I think he's sort of mixed where he's at here. In sevens, though, this price, that hand can't fold. Good pot for Sapitavicius repping that Cyprus flag. So I had a good result at Onyx. Big series coming up with the Onyx as well. I know you also, Terrance, tell me about WSOP Circuit and kind of what involvement you have there and what's going on. I see so many cool events, WSOP Live app. I know there's a Super Circuit Montreal coming up. There's a ton of events. There's one running, I believe, in Estonia even at the moment. So tell me a little bit about your involvement and what is going on and how that's expanded.
Yeah, they reached out to me back in November, actually before my Paradise run, and we were in talks. We almost came to an agreement, and then December came around, and they said, "Oh, it's pretty busy. Let's revisit this in January." And then I went down there, and obviously make a deep run. They're all sweating, and I look at the big higher ups there at WSOP every day. I was like, I should have signed that contract. So they're a little bit anti-sweating me, but I still wanted to take it just because I thought it was a great opportunity. I'm the U.S. circuit manager. So anything to do with the tour, signing new venues, making sure clients are happy, a little bit of a player ambassador role. Players can reach out to me on any of my socials. Let me know when there's a problem or a question. Getting schedules and structures up on the WSOP website and then our WSOP Live app. So it's a lot of client management, player ambassadorship, a lot of admin stuff goes along with it, but just basically running the tour and making sure it's taken care of. WSOP has been historically a very small team, and now with the GG's parent company taking over and owning WSOP now, they have we've grown our team quite a bit. So before there was never anybody that was like dedicated to the circuit, despite it being massive and the biggest tour in poker. No one was in charge of the circuit. It was all handled by the small operations team that also handles all the bracelet series. So they brought me in particularly just to give it some more love and attention, try to make sure that it's handled with care as we grow. We're trying to grow it rapidly. You mentioned that we're an international as well. I'm not in charge of the international events. There's another one of me out there who's in charge of everything international. His name is Gaetano. So I'm handling everything in the States. He handles everything worldwide. It's kind of shared workload between those two things, and just trying to grow, make the product as best as it can be under the GG brand, and then develop that app, which has just been a lifesaver. It's so much better than things used to be. Being able to register directly within the app, no waiting in lines. No, you get to see who's at your table. You get to update your chip stack. It really is the future of live poker, and it's only going to get better.
Yeah, it's well said, and that's very cool. As we see, Aleks may get into it with Artem, who's short and knows he's capable of making things happen with modest hands. So I wonder if he will step out. He does, and Artem can't believe he finally gets a real hand. He's getting action as well. Nice squeeze from Duco last hand. We saw King Queen off attack the light open of King Six from Aleks and the flat of sixes on the button. So good timing again from Duco, makes it work. And Artem now, does he ever get cute to flat here just because he knows like he's kind of plays wild? And wow, this is actually an interesting situation because we see the top set, but the sevens actually have the diamond working. He does go for the flat.
I think Aces
Very interesting.
definitely prefers just call here. It's so easy to get the chips in with a 1-to-1 stack to pot ratio, basically, and an aggressive opponent on your left with so much ICM pressure. He's just going to put the pressure on you. This is actually somewhat of a bad flop for him, all things considered, to both get action and potentially be drawn out on. So doesn't probably hate the result of getting taking that one down on the all diamond flop, but definitely had dreams of winning a big pot.
Yeah, the curious part is the sevens, although I think that was a little bit more of an exploit to raise and go like that against the short stack open there. I wonder if he was not going to be folding then to the raise. I think he probably was, but I think that's a kind of awkward hand at 3-bet off that stack depth. And I would have been curious what happened, but as it plays, our short stack to start the day, he's done well. He's already laddered a couple times, and now he's back in the mix with the player pool here. 1.6 million. He's actually, yeah, it's basically 3 stacks with himself, similar. So he's in it. And there's aces for Borovkov and Artem closing the action. 20 plus 20 bigs, 10-8 suited. Pretty sure he's going to give it a go as top set again for aces today. 1,000 watching. Want to remind you guys to hit that thumbs up and be subscribed. There is a $350 GG ticket. It's going to get those keywords at the end. And of course, the tweet is pinned. You guys can go ahead and retweet that on Jeff Gross Poker. Got a 50 cash giveaway for you as we are underway today, playing to a winner.
Well, the script is flipped here against the same two opponents. Aces flop top set again, turns a full house here. It's going to be a similar result. Where just not quite as big of a pot as you would have liked when you wake up with the bullets, but fair trade between those two guys, passing chips back and forth.
Yep, it is. Been a pretty fun match today. Not quite as crazy as yesterday, but we did see a hero fold to start. So we saw kind of the opposite of last week, where we saw crazy play. Today we saw a little bit more conservative, but people are still starting to go for it.
Interesting to not see a c-bet here from Duco, holding king queen of spades with the ace of spades out there as the preflop aggressor. Opens the door for Arsenii to just take this one down with no resistance for the 10-9 gut shot. You know, Duco must be doing something right. A lot of success here and just very passive, not taking this what I would think would be a standard c-bet in that spot, but he knows what he's doing. Big flop here. Open ender against top and bottom pair. This one could get big.
Yep, and backdoor flush draw as well, and not just any 2-pair. That's the missionary, the top and bottom ace 9. It's a special type of 2-pair. It's dicey, can get a little bit crazy, and we're gonna see queen 10 suited, probably not folding to a check raise. And I gotta believe the check raise coming here, right? This is just a big hand, and I guess he could call. He could. It's a small bet though. I think check raise makes sense. He's gonna have some. He could have some draws, or I think that's just what he's debating.
Yeah, a lot of scary cards. You know, unless the card is 6 or below, it's worrisome, right? Literally every other card in the deck that doesn't give you a full house completes something. Or that said, like the Jack Queen, the Jack King, the Jack 10, you're happy with those make 2-pair. But you got to be worried. Give yourself some clarity here. Let's build the pot when we're pretty sure we have the best hand.
Yeah, so now if you're Larin, this actually It's like you almost can't imagine folding, but you realize you're up against a very strong hand. So he does call and hits lightning, absolute gin, the 8, the rainbow 8, the 4-card rainbow. There's no flush draw backdoor present. He has the nuts. And I mean, honestly, ace 9, I think, you don't love that. You're aware Queen 10 suited is there, but also, like, again, out of the scare cards, it's not that scary. It's not one of the best cards, but you're worried about like a 10, a queen, a king. The 8 is definitely cause for pause, but
The
yeah,
problem
this
is
is
if Larin has like the ace king, the ace queen, is he really going to call off here? As the pre-flop opener, if he has those one pair hands with the ace, is he going to put it in if you jam? I don't know because there's just so many two pairs and straights out here. So when you're thinking about going for value, what are you trying to get called by with the ace 9? Because there's not much, right?
yeah. Yeah, ace 10, ace queen that has, but then they got to know they're probably in bad shape to that action. So,
Right.
yeah, it's ace 10 or ace queen are vulnerable. You might want to. So he's going to rip it and he's going to get snapped and he's got to hit a 4-outer on the river. This is quite a turn of events. Our short stack trying to do the unthinkable and he can do
Not
it. He
there.
is up to 3.2 million and he is in fourth place, but super healthy fourth. Started 9 of 9. Everyone else 1 through 8 were pretty much close. And now, a Sapitavicius is our short stack, and he may actually be getting looked up here. I guess this is going to go raise and ace 3 off at king 6. Maybe does he ever limp or he's going to min raise? I'm curious. He does raise, and I don't think can't fold, right? You're not raise king 6 suited getting shoved for 500 and then folding for 350. So this is going to be a potential knockout. And if he actually goes with the ace 3 suited, I got ace 3 off, he could fold and wait to get it first in or try for a better spot. It's pretty close. You're not getting fold equity.
Yeah, with 7 bigs against the chip lead button open, I think it's good enough.
Yeah,
He
he's going to run it
agrees.
to be right back in it. Ace 3, game inches slightly ahead. The king comes, needs the ace now. 2 to come for that. The 3 not enough. A 3 or an ace or non-club ace or 3 for that matter.
That's
It's
a
a 8, this black 8, and we are down to 6. So the good game golfer claps are out, and we are at 6. So forehand will start those giveaways. 1,000 plus on right now. All you got to do, hit the thumbs up and hit the subscribe button. Both are free. Also, Jeff Gross Poker tweet can go retweet for 50 cash. And the Substack article is out. Newsletter. Got that Terrance in there featured, as well as the payouts, the final table, and much more. That is there. There you go. You guys got everything. You got the link to X. You got the link to Substack. You got the 3 giveaways. If you're eligible, all you got to do is follow through over 100. You hit the thumbs up. Appreciate that. And we are seeing some great play today. Ace 4 suited getting to work. 8-9 suited. Arsenii, they are deep. Can he peel here against an active Borovkov? He will. Could see a 10 million chip pot, but nope, not on that board likely. Ace 4 suited, much better flop.
I love this. We've got 6 players left. I have 2 of them. You have 3 of them. This is working out swimmingly for our side bet here. And I got the chip leader, but you got 3 players left. It's fairly even fight. The Osmirko now, the short stack, there's a couple shorties, and then everyone else is pretty healthy at this point. So Osmirko and Tsintao got to vying for that spot. Who's going to get the ladder, and then maybe we fight for it. But everyone's still fairly deep at the 70K big blind level. 20 bigs being our shorty.
So Arsenii debating there to fire with the 9-8 suited with the backdoor heart draw and try to just shake some maybe fives or whatever. Again, Aleks having a wide range, but he doesn't, and now he actually does pick up a heart draw. But the ace 4 is a miles ahead. And interesting though, the 9 high flush draw, paired board out of position. I'm sorry, in position, but 9 high flush draw, 2 chip leaders. I think this starts getting pretty close. Like the upside downside, you get paid if you hit. You're only gonna hit a flush once in a while. He does call, he does get it actually. So interesting. He does come in there, and Borovkov now has a not really welcome river sight, although there is the ace. The aces with threes king, so his king is the kicker, but he is going to realize losing the flushes and some other hands, so he does check. And now Malinov has a decision what to bet.
I think Arsenii just loses to or I'm sorry, Arsenii just has so many flushes after checking back the flop as on the button playing super deep. He's just going to have a lot of suited hands like this, and this is just going to get looked up. You would think, just because we're chopping with all the other aces, but how many aces really check back the flop? I think we're just worried about flushes, right?
Well, the ace, the thing that you're chopping with an ace as well.
That's what I'm saying. Wow,
Yeah.
what a fold. I feel like that sizing was great and still didn't get paid off by Borovkov. Well done to identify. Pretty much played that hand really well. Got chips in with the draw present, folded when it completes, and just playing like his opponent's cards are face up. Well done.
Yep. Queen nine off, going to call. Ace five suited gets a nice board. Ace eight deuce rainbow board with the backdoor straight and flush draw, and queen nine just going to get out of the way there. Nothing really to see. Duco chipping up, got over 4 mil. Borovkov 4 mil. Larin, our short stack, over 3 mil. 5 million for Malinov, and there is our satellite winner. Tsintao hanging in. Got to be enjoying the ride. He's laddered up to sixth at least. Guaranteed a six-figure payday. Good for him off $1,000 satellite. So that's pretty special already. And he's got much more to play for. Top stack, the winner, the final payout today will get a 10K GG Millions in Paradise. That is at Bahamar in December. So still an extra 10, 374 plus the 10. Lot to play for, a lot of money on the line still.
By the way, for the first time since our final table started, we have a new chip leader. That might not be the case after this hand, assuming this top pair holds on, but Arsenii takes over your boy, your pick, in first place for the time being. But this might overtake him right back if Aleks can hold on with this top pair. A scary king comes on the turn after raising the small blind and getting called by the very competent Duco, who holds the ace of spades in the big blind.
Yeah, these are two tough opponents. And Borovkov with the decision, does he keep the foot on the gas? He had a top pair. The king comes. How many opponents have a king here? He does fire a7. Not the card really to be sticking around here. I'd be surprised if he does. Think he's gonna, choose to exit here. Better spots to come, and we will continue six-handed. 70K big blind. It does go up every 20 hands, upper left of your screen. You can see when that goes up. See a lot of familiar faces in the chat. Good to see everyone. Hope you're having a nice day. We're seeing some high-level poker today. Artem looking to repeat. Duco looking for his fifth. Tsintao, the satellite winner. Arsenii also has not. I think Arsenii was at one title, or I always get him confused. Malinov has one title. Velasevic went out with 3. Artem with 1. So couple players with not a win, couple with, and it is still too early to say. Borovkov has got 5 final tables, no win though. So he's looking to get that done today.
Tsintao, by the way, I'd like to call out, has been very quiet. Since he 3-bet that Queen Jack offsuit, I don't know if he's VPIP'd a single hand, but I have a feeling that might change here, holding King Queen suited on the button.
You would think so. He does call. Ace Jack in the big, interesting. It's actually interesting. He covers both. I don't think he thinks Tsintao is going to play trap. So then against Artem is aggressive. This wouldn't be the craziest spot to shove. Yeah, I was just thinking like makes a lot of sense. Like Artem's opening, who knows what. He's gonna still okay, he's gonna call. He's just gonna
Goes
snap
with it
it off.
anyway.
Picks it up, and they're gonna likely chop. Everyone with the flush draw, though, the spades are live. You can see that runner, not gonna happen. So we see another all-in with the same hands, and we will chop it up almost there, but missing a spade. And called quickly. Nice shove.
To,
I like that shove. I like that shove by
I,
by Art. I like both players making their and the queen hit though. The queen did come.
Tsintao has to be thinking what could have been had he not been facing a competent opponent who took that spot from the big blind, because he would have flopped top pair and have gone nowhere. That was his first, like I said, first VPIP in quite some time. and has to be shaking his head, wishing he could have seen that flop.
If Tsintao had jammed, I don't think Artem would have called.
Agreed.
Right?
I think you're right there. Yeah, it's just very different ranges from Tsintao shoving versus the shove from the big blind with a massive covering stack. But that
Little unconventional. The ace eight off flat with the stack. Would think he'd prefer to shove than call, and then even maybe fold, maybe shove, fold, call. Does go with the call. He does have a guaranteed win if he can get to a river here, not get bluffed off by Larin. And Larin just may be not interested with this hand. Check back flap. Although with the jack turn, he could start betting. Oh, he's gonna check and actually gets a card where he could pay a small bet here. Do you think
yeah.
what about that turn lead? Do you think jack lead turn makes sense from Artem?
I think in a vacuum it does, but also I don't get here with the ace eight offsuit, and I think very few people do. So I think there's not many like top pair hands in our range, so we don't really have to lead the jack. And when we have the ace, it makes it less likely our opponent does. So we kind of actually it kind of reverses the range where we have to be more worried about the jack than we're representing it. So I kind of like the way it played out, and he's just so strong and so has a hand he should never have. So it's kind of hard to say what he should do, but I like trying to get some value once that queen hits is the best way to get some chips. But yeah, in general, when that second card pairs, it's much better for your range in the blinds. And yet he's sitting there with ace eight offsuit. So who knows what Osmirko is capable of?
Yeah, it's absolutely right.
Will we see the 5-4 suited get involved? Knowing Aleks, I would say yes. Just gets through. It really feels like, and obviously it's early, it really feels like we're working our way towards a Borovkov and a Malinov heads up match. Obviously, it's easy to say. They're both the big stacks at the table. But as far as identifying situations well, as far as making well timed bets and just running really well, these two guys are on a collision course. But plenty of capable opponents trying to stand in their way. However, a premium for both of them here.
Some decent looking hands. So we're gonna go to a flop again. And not great for jacks, a little worrisome, but again, no over, and King 10 suit doesn't have much going there.
Checks it over. Okay. Agrees with you that it's probably a flop that he can't get super excited about, despite being an overpair. When an opponent has, the only other big stack at the table is willing to call on the button, you really don't want to play a massive pot here, even with the overpair. Four liner to a straight, three hearts on board. We have the overpair. You can't, like you said, you can't be super excited. And now it's a question, no interest in turning this king 10 into a bluff. Gives up, and another pot goes back to our chip leader.
5.7 million. He does seem like it's all kind of working today. Got that queens fold earlier to ace king. Was it a open? He 3-bet. Was a cold 4 and a 5-bet jam. Queens folded. And from there, he's that's crazy, right? He was literally going to be behind if he clicks call as a big pot. Would have been behind either extending lead or being on the shorter side, but he's gotten to play and he's had a very solid day thus far. It's Tsintao needs to get going here. And Arsenii also with the big stack, but got very fortunate with Queen King suited to the Ace King suited all in pre.
Look at Osmirko here, the people's champ, apparently, by the way, with everyone saying that he's going to win. Off of this stack, 3-betting to 844 from the small blind. What is Arsenii going to make of this? What can he have? He's holding the 10 of clubs.
It's an awkward spot. He knows he's capable 5-6, 6-7. He knows he could have flush draws. Does he play his 8Xs like this? Does he ever have a 4 and play it like this? I mean, that's all the things. So at the end of the day, it works. And again, Artem, people just don't have an answer for him right now. And he's on the shorter side of the stacks. But I'll tell you, if he gets chips, he is very difficult. He showed us that last week, took down the whole enchilada last week with the win, and he is back in it playing a very inspired brand of poker.
Yeah, he just said, I don't think you have it. If you don't have a pair, good luck holding on, buddy. I don't know what I'm representing really, but I don't think you have it. So put the chips in if you want to do battle. And that's the kind of thing we're not seeing from Tsintao right now. Maybe the card distribution isn't there for him to pull those kind of moves, but Osmirko really playing with a fearless style, getting in there with hands and just battling range v range, happy to put his opponent to the test, even as the short stack. Diamond free to the 4 flush river we go, blind v blind. The deuce is still best, but can't feel great on this board, and yet we're going to get to showdown. Powerful bottom pair is going to win the pot. Very small pot, but got to feel good scooping chips with that hand.
King Jack, and this might just be how many blinds is just not a jam. It is he goes 3x. Weak king. Tsintao maybe getting a little frustrated, but this is not the hand to take a stand necessarily. He's got just sub 20. What's that? 1.480. Yeah, 17, 18 bigs. Gonna get out of the way. Duco is dangerous. I'm telling you, he's just won this so many times. He's so experienced. He's got a great seat on the left of Borovkov and Artem there as we see nines. And we may just go to a flop with a potential set mine opportunity. 3s to 9s. As Malinov, what is he thinking? He's not folding. Does call. No drama flop. Ace, king, 5, pretty dry. 9s don't love it either, but maybe small bet here. Full range. Think you just want to bet small. Try to pick it up here. Does take it down. Anyone stand out? Anything? I mean, you haven't seen Artem play. I watched him all last week to the very last hand. Anyone here that is stuck out in terms of their style?
Yeah, I know it's Artem. Osmirko is definitely the one who's playing non-standard, willing to mix it up, willing to like flat some hands out of the small blind. Twice he's done that now that are non-standard flats, and then just taken away the pot post flop. So I think I understand why the people love watching this guy. He's not afraid. He's willing to put chips in when he thinks he can get his opponent to fold, and definitely not just obeying what the charts say to do by any means. And he's very creative, very fun to watch. So he's the one that stands out for sure. I'd love to see Tsintao get in the mix. This is a huge spot for him, and now he's short stacked, so I understand him being very cautious. But you got to root for the Cinderella story, and it's just hard to do so right now because he's not putting chips in the middle.
He did give us that burst, the queen jack off
Yeah.
3-bet earlier. It looked like he might come with some sauce today, some of the off speed, but he is sort of, again, he's not gotten a ton of situations where he could necessarily get too crazy, but he's not been out of line at all.
Yeah, I really feel like we haven't seen any spots where it was questionable what he should do and he chose passive. It's just he hasn't had the cards, and in a huge spot like this guy satellited in for 10K. You would love to see that he could take advantage of this and get some playability at the final table, get some experience under his belt. And so I kind of feel for him, but we're deep enough that he's not out of it by any means. We saw Larin turn a similar stack around into where he is right now. So by no means should he feel defeated thus far. And flopping a straight against middle set does wonders towards injecting yourself back into the conversation.
This feels dangerous, though. I'm telling you, man. We talk about a heater. We talk about what's possible, and I'll say this: this is the low end. It's a little bit scary too on this. I wonder if he just goes and rips it in here. Right? He does call, and there's that boat. No waiting, and maybe he's able to save his stack though. It's possible. That's a really bad card. Wow.
You know, on this river too, it's going to be really weird and probably does save his stack. He's going to be grateful to not have check shoved that flop because he would be out of this tournament. And here he is losing to any queen, any full house, any flush, and facing a massive bet.
He's probably done his homework, though. He may have seen the show last week. He's maybe seen Artem. He knows that actually he is capable to bluff. But again, like the thing is, you just lose to like everything now. So it's like even, ace X, yeah, maybe he does just have that ace of diamond. But really, like, I mean, I don't know. It's actually maybe a little harder to fold than I thought. But I think it's just like literally, you can't really beat anything. Just that ace of diamond bluff or a king, there's not many bluffs there.
I was really worried because a lot of times that frustration boils over into making a call just because you haven't had any spots and finally you have a straight and you're against Osmirko. I was worried Tsintao was just going to put it in out of frustration there, but good on him for still finding the fold against the full house. That was my player versus your player right there. That was that. If Tsintao hits check raise on that flop, I'm down to one horse left.
Yeah, it's listen, I gotta say, there's it's a slight edge, right? Like I've seen so many of these, I know these players so well. I think I probably have a slight advantage in picking and knowing players, but at the same time, there's a lot of luck and it's fun either way. We'll go to a dinner, we'll have a good time, and it's a lot of game left. I've been where I have a clean sweep and it looks over and I've lost and vice versa. When you done a lot of these and I've seen every which way, getting lucky, unlucky, and it's fun. It's fun to do and it's fun to bet if you're in a place where you can do it. It is fun to put something on just to kind of predict how you see it playing out with the final table, because these are they're different. They're always different. They're always exciting, but it is more fun when you have a little something on it. Well, ace 10. This is going to be a very likely chop pot. I don't see someone folding. Yeah, I don't think Artem can fold top here on this draw board. It's going to be, he realizes though he's actually against potentially like, Jack Queen suited, Jack King suited, these type of hands you don't want to see. But yeah, they're going to run it. This is going to chop. A lot of chop pots today.
Sitting there is Tsintao just trying to get this ladder. You have to love seeing Osmirko put all the chips in and be very disappointed when you see the chop pot guaranteed. With 13 bigs, Tsintao is the player to watch.
There was a question how many players? 190 entered today. Again, you'll start seeing that go up. We did see a summer a little bit downturn just because of the WSOP going on, but now that is over and there's huge series coming up on GG, including the bracelet events as well. We'll have some huge events on here, September 22nd and 29th in particular, but the Bounty Hunters series is going and that is big action. Gee, I got to see how many players are actually online. I'm in Brazil. Wouldn't mind playing a little bit too. I miss streaming, man. Have you done some streaming, Terrance? I feel like you have. Or have you done some content stuff, or no? Not ever streaming.
Yeah, very little live streaming. I've dabbled a couple of times just to experiment with it. But I do long form content on YouTube. I do like daily vlogs from the summer every summer, and then I'll do like one or two vlogs from every series that I attend outside of that for the rest of the year. But most of it's live poker. Very little online for me these days.
Nice. Yeah, it's fun. It's a lot of work. It's a good time. I miss streaming. I actually had my longest stream ever when I from 2015 to 2021. Basically, I was doing a lot of Twitch streaming, and I had a 25-hour stream from this exact spot where I was in Brazil. It was pretty cool. That was my longest one ever, but it was super fun, and I miss streaming. It's two little kids and being in the US mostly, so it's hard, but if you're going to play online, I do encourage people to try that. If that's something you like doing, it's it's fun. It's fun to have people kind of talking to and being a part of it if you're going to do it frequently. So we see GTO Wizard pop up here. It's been not super prevalent today, but have given us great suggestions and been spot on as we see the two guys battling the most here, telling us to bet mid with the 6-7 and actually would run into two pair. Does go for a little bigger than mid bet.
Well, 6 just feels like the best hand almost always, and yet he's run into the unlikely 2 pair behind. Recommended just call, which is interesting. And
Wow.
oh boy, the 6-7 gets there, quote unquote.
That
Gotta
is spice. What
hate
a
seeing that
absolutely
card.
crazy situation. And I mean, man, you can't not call, I don't think. You have the 6, like the board, the spades miss, other things miss. Artem's so capable. Again, when I say you're playing poker and you want to go to a hero call situation on the river, you got to go through your checklist. Is the player capable? Is he yes? Is he willing? Yes. And then you look at your kind of your cards, your blockers, how does it interact with the board? What kind of bluffs miss? And I think all boxes went to call there. That's really unlucky and kind of fortunate he just called the turn, as GTO Wizard did recommend not to raise there.
Yeah, Osmirko just almost never has a king. So if you rule out the king, then you're getting beat by worse 6s and you have or better 6s and you have a 6 in your hand. So I don't blame him for going the call route, and he could have lost more. And I think it's a mandatory put in against Osmirko on the river. No, we're getting numbers here. Almost 370,000 people online on GG, by the way.
Wow. Wow. That's I think there was 900,000 during the September, was it last year? Or there's at some point there was 900,000 online for a festival not too long ago. Maybe it was, no, what month is it? Maybe April? Something crazy. That's just crazy numbers.
Just makes me want to play online.
900,000.
Just makes me want to get in the mix.
So fun, there's mystery bounties now. There's the bounty hunter series. There's the bracelet events coming up, and again, people are getting better, but I think sometimes people get a little scared. Oh, there's solvers, there's stuff going on, but I mean, man, there's so many people, and any given day, people are playing in a certain way, and then there's also the luck side of it. Plus, you can do work on your game, and then do you exploit? Do you play GTO? And it's fun, right? I don't think tournaments are going anywhere. I don't think the poker is going to go anywhere. It's something that people ultimately love to do, and there's so many different variations of the games. Do your mixed game too? I feel like, do you play some mixed game stuff?
Yeah, I do. I've gotten into it more in the last few years. I played the 10Ks for the first time this summer. Almost everything. I think studs probably my worst game. Stud 8 or better. But everything else, big Omaha fan, big deuce to 7, both the single and the triple draw fan. Dealer's choice is one of my favorite variants ever. Just absolutely love all the dynamics that come with that. So I know how to play all the games. No Limit Hold'em is definitely my best game, and then very much see a lot of value in playing the mixed games. Is people hop in, especially the 1500s during the summer. You just get so many players who have no idea what they're doing, and then the dealer's choice. Every year, I set the line at like 4.5 on people I see Googling the rules to whatever game they're just about to play. So there's a lot of value in getting into the mixed games, and a lot of people are getting into them. They're just more fun. I still really enjoy No Limit Hold'em, and I still have fun playing it. But there's something about looking at 5 cards and discarding cards and the limit betting structure. It changes it up, and after you play mixed for a while, and then you go back to No Limit Hold'em, you'll see the game differently too. I don't know if you experienced this. It just feels different. You start to analyze things differently. So it's nice to expand the elasticity of the brain by trying different variants.
I agree with that. And a couple shoves here. Tsintao gonna get it through again. He got the king 5 suit. This time he wouldn't have minded a call from the majority of hands, but he's back over $1 million. I do see your comment, Poker Capone. Again, we're not generally calling out the chat throughout the stream, but I do keep an eye on it, and I do see you guys. Appreciate all of you. Let us know where you're watching from. Hope you're having an amazing day. And he made a comment about, what do you think about amateur path where all weak players play a Sadie and the winner gets a seat at this FT? Would be cool to have an amateur at this FT. And listen, there is an amateur. It looks like Tsintao satellite in, and Amateur path where all week, I think you mean week like not strong, weak players, or all week, you mean like during the week, players play a Saturday. I mean, listen, I think it's great when you do get satellite players in, and I don't know the exact format you suggest, but that's part of the reason there are satellites, right? We've seen people run up the 150 to the 1K to the second place. Coco Bongo Reg's been a guest on the show. He's had 2 seconds. He got second from a 150 satellite. I think that was our biggest ROI ever confirmed on here, but something crazy, right? He won like 370K from $150 in a week period from here. So, there is opportunities to do that. You can satellite at any time, and there's varying sizes here. And ace 10 is going to be at risk. Larin using a little time bank, but he's got the kings and he's not folding. That is a 9.26 blind shove. And Larin debating, I think, whether to call or shove, but ultimately there it is. Cards on their back. Our satellite winner needs help fast. Ace 10, he needs the jack now or some running hearts. It is the jack on the turn. OMG, can he fade the river peel?
He
yes,
does.
the pairing. He did it. Wow. Wow, that is your money's worth right there. Larin, not slow rolling. He there's another player in the hand. He takes his time, and Tsintao can sit down and take his seat because he is still in. That is wild run out. That is one we haven't seen in a while. That was pretty much nuts. I mean,
what did we just
nuts.
witness?
We top set versus a gut shot, bink and hold. That was, I like to call naughty, nice, or spice. We got a spicy run out there. That was not nice to Larin. Depends which side you're on. That was absolute spice. A hit and hold on the turn against top set. And Tsintao, Nemo rocking. Everyone's rocking kind of these cartoon avatars. We got a donkey. We got a fish. What is that, a fox? Or I can't even make that out what Duco's got, but
that looks like the Timu Nemo right there. I'm not sure that that's any Disney character, but I see what you're saying. And he found his straight. That's for not an orbit ago. He just had a straight against a set and lost to the full house. And now he binks a straight against a set and holds in a much bigger spot because his tournament life is on the line. Our amateur player, at least in appearances here on a satellite victory, is still alive and has found a much needed double. Wow, what a path to the top 6 has he found, and now he is very much alive as we go to a mystery hand.
Sevens. Duco, been a feature on the mystery hand. He has the most titles on the GG Millions, and he is playing against our maybe most exciting player at the moment on the GG Millions, at least in recent weeks. Champion last week, and we have got potentially a battle here. Is he going to flat or 3-bet? He does flat. Ace 5 4 2 sevens. Got the diamond working on the backdoor front, and Artem, who is super capable, going to bet. So I'm already predicting something very interesting brewing here. How about a 6 or a diamond or a 3? He's just going to call. There's the 7. Wow.
My goodness.
Wow.
The dream card, right? Against Osmirko. You got to be hoping for a bet here on the turn.
Yeah. I mean, what are we going to see here that's so crazy? Are we going to get like a diamond, a wild? Is it going to be one of the super crazy cards or just a diamond, or what are we seeing on the river that's going to blow our minds? I mean, I think Duco deciding to raise or call, and I guess, calling makes a lot of sense. There is the diamonds. So here we go. Quick check. And Artem is he gonna unload the clip here? I mean, Duco's head's gonna explode if he shoves or puts in the majority of the chips. Now, Duco does cover, but let's see. What is the ask? And what is it? And is it, if it's it's either a big bet or a small bet. And if it's a small bet, do you raise? Or if he goes for all of it, what do you do? Let's see the sizing.
Could this be the power jam incoming from Osmirko? It looks like Duco. Oh, just 800K, which I say just that. That's 8 big blinds in a very big spot on the river, but has to be more palatable than the full clip being emptied towards you. What do you do here with second set? Or third set?
I mean, I think, is that the debate to raise? He's never folding, I don't think, right? Is that what we're talking about here? I think you do lose to straight. Somehow he could have 6-8 suited, but I don't know if he's going to open even that in the two guys in the spot. Maybe will, but I don't know. I don't think you can fold. I would just call, I guess. I mean, is he going to consider raising? What is that? He's not folding, right?
He does go with all of it. And is that aces? Got to move those cards.
What do you think, Terrance?
Aces! My God. He goes with it all and gets called by top set. There was
Did
no
I cut
way he
out
was
here?
not going broke.
I think my internet cut.
Yeah, Jeff, we can hear you, but you can't see what's going on. I will tell
Can
you,
you hear? I think I
Duco
lost
just
internet
got
for a second. I don't know if you can hear me. I can. I
absolutely,
think like my I look frozen.
absolutely coolered. Jeff, we hear you. You can't see what's going on, but Duco just lost in an absolutely brutal way. Button versus big blind, set
Okay, it
versus
says can you hear me?
set,
I can't. I cannot see what's going on,
decides
and
to
I'm
go
frozen on the
for it
screen. Maybe you're gonna have
all.
to restart. Give me a sec here, guys.
He was not afraid of going for value there, even when the flush came in against a very capable opponent. And all of a sudden, Osmirko is our chip leader with 5.8 million. Duco, the extreme short stack. Tsingtao has to love seeing that. Another ladder perhaps incoming. And Arsenii's the one getting after it with the queen four suited from under the gun, playing six-handed. Yep, he's
I'm.
back.
I caught it. I didn't see the. I see that. I have it on the side here, so I see the stacks. What happened? What was that? So he jammed, and then what did he have? He had the flush.
He jammed, and our boy all but snap called, but no flush. Oh, we got,
Six
by the
eight or
way,
a set.
pocket
Wow.
aces, the
Oh my
set.
goodness. Fives to queen four suited here, and this is Duco Haven trying to get back in the game, and he does fade it. So okay, so he set over set. Wow, and the diamond couldn't
Osmirko
even.
opened
Wow.
the button with pocket aces, got called by pocket sevens in the big blind, and just set over set. There's no way that Duco's not losing at all. Perhaps that third diamond on the river could have saved him, but I don't blame him for going for value against some wide ranges and an aggressive opponent. Yeah, it became an
Wow.
extreme mystery hand to you, huh? You had to wait another minute to find out what happened.
Yeah, uh that was crazy. I just saw the stack. Like I didn't actually see the hands, but that is a big swing. We got our back looking to go into rare air, the back-to-back winner. Can Artem really pull that off? That would be something.
Well,
That
when you're
would really be
making
something.
set over set at the final table, that just doesn't happen. That doesn't happen. How? Open pocket aces on the button, flop top set, get all the chips in. Just that's what you want in a big spot, and that's what he got. Oh my, is this deuce three off? Three betting the big blind, by the way?
Larin just attacking Tsintao. This feels a little Tsintao feels a little personal, and he's gonna get it through.
Wow, somewhere
That,
Nicholas Rigby is smiling in Pittsburgh or something.
yes, that is the dirty diaper in effect, and a very effective use and timing of it. Looks super strong. He's been quiet. He attacked another type player again. Good recognition. And guys are playing today. They're definitely playing not just their cards. And 100K big blind a little bit easier to see the big blinds here. So just divide that by the stack, and no one now critically short. Duco back to 16 blinds. Had some adversity there. Do you think that's too? Is that, in your opinion, is it asking too much, or is it just maybe just being not afraid to go for value against a player that you know is so capable and going to have such a wide range in that spot?
Yeah, I think with the pocket sevens, we just have to go for it there. It's just way too strong. Can't be afraid of monsters under the bed. A button open, no less. Like aces, obviously, are not there very frequently. Flushes can be, but do they really triple it off? Um, I don't know. But against us, Mirko, in particularly, six-handed, button opening range, I just feel like it's too weak to just call with a set there. So I don't blame him for going for it. Of course, running into the absolute top of range from Osmirko is you're just going to lose your chips. If you make a set and the other guy has a bigger set, get ready to lose all your chips. All he can be grateful for is he wasn't covered and he's still in the game.
Yeah, Duco gonna rip it here, and Tsintao can't really do much. So again, Tsintao hasn't had too many great opportunities to make fantastic plays. He did get a light 3-bet in. Overall, he's at 1.5. He had a pretty dramatic run out there with the Ace 10 versus Kings. Did get the gut shot against top set. And here is Duco with 8-9, and probably just gonna hear it all here from Malinov. Ace Queen, such a strong hand in this spot, and does ship it, picks it up. So Malinov healthy. 3 big stacks, and then we got a 2, 1.5, and 1.2. Aces for Duco, though. Can he get any action? Larin with the ace 8 off.
I feel like we have seen an inordinate amount of pocket aces at this final table, 5 or 6. And for the most part, haven't gotten much action except for that one big hand we were just discussing that Osmirko had them. And yet here we are, once more into the fray we go. And an ace of spades being held in the big blind on a paired board that sometimes people like to attack from the big blind. It would not go well if he chooses to now. After just getting the 3 deuce 3-bet through, probably feeling himself a little bit, goes for the check raise, not going to get through, and now he turns second pair.
I'll tell you what, you mess with the bull, get the horns, the Pamplona, whatever Pamplona that thing is, and you get, once in a while stuff works, you get lucky, but you can get in real big trouble. And this is actually going to work out pretty poorly for him now. I mean, he's going to be in a lot of trouble to give a full double here. He's actually just going to keep betting, and he is drawing to 2 outs. I mean, Duco can't have him in a worse spot. I guess the spade on the river would be the only thing that would be concerning, but as played, I mean, Duco's in here, right? Duco's working a trap.
Oh yeah, we are very happy. Obviously, we don't love the big one can have a 3, but it's just we're happy to play for it all with pocket aces. It's just a question of how. And Larin, like this feels like a value bet at this point. And when we have second pair, and I don't know that we're getting away from this with a 3-to-1 stack to pot ratio. The question is, do we put the chips in ourselves or do we check call? I would imagine putting it in ourselves is the answer when we hold the ace of spades, and it's way less likely that our opponent has the flush draw.
Yeah, you start thinking that maybe your opponent does have the ace, king, ace, queen, these type of hands, but as played, he's going to check it. And now Duco gets the green light to ask for the rest.
And that's the thing when we inflate this pot and we are getting such a good price on this river, is there any way we can fold the 8?
It looks so strong. Even Duco, look at this true pro. He leaves back to 52K, like saying like, hey, if I'm bluffing, maybe I just do that and I still have a chip in a chair. And Larin's getting the full works here. The full works.
Yep, this is the downside on taking this aggressive line. You left yourself in a very tricky situation because you only have to be a right pure chip EV 20% of the time. Are you? Maybe. But then when you account for everything else, it starts to get pretty ugly. What are we getting called down by?
He does call. He does call. That is quite a masterpiece. Duco is back in a big way. 2.6 million, 4-time winner, looking for 5, and he is causing havoc. He made a big cooler that he could have maybe lost less, but shows you the player he is, that he's going for action and he's going for max value. So as it stands, we are 6-handed and it is wide open. Larin was the short stack. He's back to that. He's had quite a ride. Did lose kings to ace 10 off. Dramatic way. Would have been in a different position, but here he is. He's got to be happy to get at least 6 figures. 1,000 on watching. Again, appreciate all of you guys. Hope you're hitting that thumbs up and being subscribed. There's 1,000 on exactly, and only 100 so far. We can do better than that, guys. Hit that thumbs up, be subscribed, be ready for 3 giveaways at the end of the show. $50 GG tickets and the X tweet. I will get you that link again. You can just retweet and guess who wins. Tag a friend if you're feeling spicy today. I will get that link for you right now.
Heavy ICM pressure from Aleks. Obviously, he had the massive hand, but gets Jack 10 suited to just bin it with two shorter stacks out there, Duco, making the tight but appropriate laydown. We have $111,000 locked up with 374K up top. And an all-in from Larin, Queen Jack suited against the Ace King of Osmirko. Can he? Oh my God!
Ooh, hello. Statement, just dead. Drawing 100, drawing dead on the turn. Not GG though. That is just a double up. 1.8. Let's keep it going. Six-handed. Party's water's warm. Artem is got chips and he's cooking. He would have been really in good shape with the nice lead, but that won't be the case. Still 5 million though. He is basically tied for the chip lead. And Borovkov with king 6 off, a tight big blind, short stack satellite winner. Tightish, I should say, tighter side. I'm not going to say just tight, but he's played well. I don't want to take it away from him. He's just been a little quiet today. And Duco couldn't do anything there. Ace 10 now. We'll get to work. And Tsintao, yeah, like you said, could get frustrated.
I'm
Could stick it
worried.
in at some point. Honestly, Borovkov, one of the guys in this spot, he's going to open a lot wider than Ace 8. So, I
I'm
mean, this wouldn't be
worried.
crazy, but it would be a misstep. And I think Borovkov is, yeah, for that amount of chips, 11 blinds. He's not, to be fair, he's not going to expect to see a worse ace. I think he's expecting, hoping to see king, queen, or a flip or not be dominated. But I mean, is there a world, like, I think he's going to ultimately have to click call, but I do see a universe where he could fold, although the chips, he shouldn't.
Wow.
He's gonna be
Yeah.
stunned if he either way. I think when he calls, if he calls, he's gonna be like, "Wow, I never thought I'd be like this far ahead." And if he folds, he's gonna lose his mind a little bit later. But let's see. I don't know. I think he's genuinely torn.
I think the Tsintao that came into this final table would have been called already, and the Tsintaos whose image has developed over the course of this final table is earning this tank just because he's been so tight.
Wow,
Wow, and the
Tsintao.
fold.
The the
Wow,
the the magic is strong, my friend. That
an
is
extra life given to our satellite winner.
wow.
The man survived ace 10 against king king. He has now survived ace 8 versus ace 10 where he gets the fold, probably just by a pip from Aleks. I would imagine the ace jack goes with it there and the ace 10 bins it. So finds extra life, still surviving with 15 bigs for our man. How much did he get into? Do we know the price of the satellite which he entered? I know he won the seat via satellite, but what was his
1,000, I
entry
believe it's
price?
1,050. Yeah, 1,050. So he's got 100x plus working right now. 111x
What a
return
legend.
going. Pretty sick. Pretty sick. 610, king 6. King 6 got the best of it here. If can hold on.
Have we seen anybody in the chat rear their heads if they know Tsintao? Family members, friends, whoever might be? Anybody out there rooting for our boy who satellited in for $1,000?
I mean, there might be. I don't know if they can disclose. We can get some fans. We can get a little interaction if there is a relative. It is borderline celebrity status. I think Artem is becoming a GG Millions big fan. That's for sure. I will say I've seen the software. It's out there. I know actually GG does have. They had the cam right where you could like flash in. I think it would be kind of cool to see the cam or like voice notes on here, let them be able to talk some or do it like not, I don't know, it's tough, right? Mandatory, but to have like to be on video, it gets a little awkward if it's like on video but they're not talking, but like to have it, I don't know. I think there's something there. I mean, we're moving in the future. Things are, if anyone's going to do it, GG will figure it out, but it's not too far away.
Yeah, where the players could interact if they want to, and then like a reaction cam, and they're always on, and it's up to the producers to filter that feed in if it's the appropriate moment, and maybe you could compensate them or in some way for their entertainment purposes, or be it a requirement for entering the tournament, whatever it might be. It would add so much entertainment value for the viewers just to see our boys react to a big river card, or see what he's thinking as he's about to fire that big bluff.
Yeah. It's yeah, that's interesting. I'll tell you what, Spunky, GG, WSOP, all that they got. I'll tell you, I won't never bet against those guys. They just seem to always push it to a new, like it's honestly amazing. I say this and think you appreciate this more than probably about anyone with the WSOP. This is a lot of hands, by the way. Ace Queen, Ace King off, Ace 6 suited, King Queen suited. Duco knows. Is it he flats the Ace King from Artem too? I mean, this he could squeeze it. He could, and Larin has got Ace Queen as well. This is nuts. We saw King Queen suited from Arsenii go for it, ran into it, got there. He does. Wow. And Borovkov sets a bear trap with the Ace King. This is a rare situation. You do not see that type of flat generally. Part of it was probably just because, yeah, he's going with it here. Part of it was almost just because they're so deep. Maybe want to just. Wow. And their short stacks to shove. Big moment here. King Queen did it once. Couldn't do it again. Is it 2 for 2 today? To the river now. And Ace needs it from space. Oh! Come on. Not like that. We were talking about, I mean, just can't be like that. It had to be like that. Borovkov can't breathe. It is Duco is absolutely stunned. Will not get his 5th title. And hello, I need a moment. That was too much. That was everything. The space ace, the queen came, the flat pre. I mean, everyone. This is Tsintao is just loving life. He is up to 141. Another 30 G's. Little high stacks of high society. Tsintao is. I'd love to see the action cam on Tsintao right now. His reaction. He is happy, and he sees another all in. Chips are flying. Things are happening. We are one away from the giveaway time. So you guys might want to get that thumbs up. Let me refresh, make sure. We need to get to over 200. It's crazy if we don't have 20% of you guys having a good time on here. Thumbs up, plus the chance for the giveaway. Woo!
By the way, Tsintao is
Jack 9. Tsintao! He's in great shape. Oh boy. Hold on. No.
The 4-sider.
Keep it clean. It's got to just be, the club's not a problem. He's got 4 outs to fade. He can do it. Tsintao can do it. He is up to 3.4 million. He is really doing it. What a flag. What a day. What an opportunity here. But Terrance, I was just saying, I got interrupted by absolutely pandemonium. But the WSOP live app, it is so good. It almost put me on tilt how good it is. Like having stack envy or app envy, where I was like, dude, where was this? I played every day of the World Series for like 12 years or 14 years or something crazy every day. Then I was gone a little less. Now I'm only there, not quite as much with kids and different things going on. It's so good that it's like, man, this would have been nice to have for a decade every day instead of like having to reg and do the pay, all this stuff. So it's amazing, but how do you feel? How is it really improved overall? And what are your feedback you get?
I think it is a game changer. I'll say that I know it's not perfect. And just for the nature of poker players, we get a lot of complaints, but it's what we'd like to see, right? And those complaints push us and we want to get better and we want to keep adding features. But when you compare it, like you said, with where we were 3 years ago, standing in reg lines, you bust and now you got to go stand in a reentry line for 3 hours. I remember just leaving because I didn't want to. Right? That's a lost entry. That's a lost buy-in. That's me as a player not being able to play an event that I wanted to play just because logistically it's hard to manage that many players. We've solved a lot of those problems. The fact that you can buy it on your app, the fact that you can just load your TA balance in there and you just a click of a button and you enter a tournament and you enter a second tournament and you can update your own chip stack for your family and friends to follow along. You don't have to wait for Poker News or whatever reporting company is out there reporting. You can keep people updated in that way.
It's almost too
manages
easy.
Everything. It's
almost
good.
too easy. It's like that good. It's actually to the point where it's like, yeah, you can be coming down from your hotel room or in the Uber, click reg, get out. You're already ready to go. You just go sit at your table by the time, like there's literally zero waiting. it's bananas. So again, if you haven't experienced that, maybe you were turned off in the past from years ago. It's a very different experience in Rio circa 2012, 2015. You know, we're at the Paris Bally's. It is it's a really nice, lot nicer venue, lot nicer setup, everything's better, production's enhanced. And I think it's a big reason poker's doing so well, right? There's the content side, there's creators, there's podcasts, there's all this stuff in poker, but you know, still the US hasn't come back, which is insane. That's just, I mean, that's wild. I remember Black Friday 2011. The fact that we're not 15 plus years later, we're not like in every state, let alone only a few. That's nuts. So imagine that happens too. I think it's like ready to pop, just completely burst. But like, luckily, these things have happened because I think we've lost people and stuff's happened. But this is kind of resurged everything. So yeah, it's good. It feels like it's kind of in the right place for a big stuff to happen.
Yeah, and that app, I would be remiss if I didn't mention, was not just the summer, is at every circuit event across the world, at the Paradise in Bahamas, at WSOP Europe. Every WSOP live event is going to have that app. So you download that once, and you, by the way, big hand here before I'll get away from this self promotion. A set versus a straight draw and the nut flush draw. A big pot between my two horses, Borovkov and Tsingtao. What are we going to do here?
Yeah, I mean, this is the bottom set versus the nut draw into quads. The
How about quads?
Borovkov is going to get it. And I'll tell you what, he got a bit unlucky because if you give that hand to Artem or some others, they may drive a little differently, especially in position with the nut blocker. Instead, it's going to be Tsintao missing and losing the absolute min. And what a sick run out there.
Tsintao has the nut flush blocker.
The spade or the 10 on the turn, and then to get, you know, then this happened. But he is going to lose the minimum.
I don't know. Sometimes when you're at a big final table, you want to put on a show, you decide to take a stand and to make a splashy play, show off a little bit.
Can you imagine? Yeah.
No.
Imagine all the discipline, all this stuff, and then you just go crazy into a board pair quads.
Into quads
with queen. I mean, that would have been a lot. But all right, we're seeing things pick up. We're one away from the giveaway portion of the tournament. 162 of you hit that thumbs up. Let's get it over 200. And we are at already 174. Appreciate everyone watching. Hope you're having fun. We do appreciate Terrance being here today. He did have a $3 million score just about exactly a year ago, right? It's a 1-year anniversary.
This was actually December. It was the super main final table down in Bahamas.
That's in the Bahamas.
It feels like it was yesterday, and also it feels like it was a year ago. But yeah, last December 2026 or 2025.
That's right. Well, yeah, that's sick. That's a fun one. I was going to ask earlier, but this is a rhetorical question. But Bahamas 2026, we're going to see you there. It's not the Atlantis now. Bahamar, is that going to? I mean, any chance you just take this one off, or are you pretty much Atlantis for life? Or I'm sorry, Bahamas for life for GG and WSOP now.
I feel like I have to be. Like you show up for a big tournament and get the biggest score of your life. It's kind of, in my mind, a must play for as long as it's reasonable to do so for me. So yeah, I will 100% be there. I've been to both Atlantis and Bahamar. I've been to Atlantis far more times, but I've been to Bahamar twice, and I like them both. I'm excited. Bahamar is, in my opinion, an upgrade. No shade to Atlantis, but it's a newer venue. And it's got a lot going on for it. So I'm excited to see what WSOP brings down there, and excited to get back and defend my 4th place finish a la Kenny Howler. So let's do it again.
I love it. And we got a question here from Honeybee asking, can you combine GG Poker account with their WSOP live account? He's asking us, maybe you could, I know the answer, but I'll let you maybe explain that more clearly, how that works.
Combine GG Poker with WSOP Live. Well, I know you need a GG account in order to.
Oh, hold on a second. We got a shove and a call. Larin looked him up here. Ace-6, 10-7, took a stance. Got diamonds working in a big way to the river. 68% favorite. Ace-6 river, slow or fast? It's slow and it's clean. Brick it out. Your short stack, Larin, is going to even things up. Tsintao was definitely puckered up on a situation there. He was loving to see a knockout, but hey, he's going to have to deal with this 2.6. Still has almost 20 bigs, and he's in there. But so yeah, I think kind of everything's working with the it's all sort of tied together, right? With the past GG accounts and whatnot. So I think if that answers your question to combine, I think it's like it is sort of tied. They give a GG pass across the board. Is that how you understand it?
Yeah, unless there's something I'm missing in that question, everything's tied into one login. So GG, WSOP Live, Poker Stake, even everything's under the same umbrella. So I'm not sure how that interacts with like the GG Online, but I believe it's all the same under your GG Pass login account. So clarify if there's more to that question that we're not getting, but everything's linked under one umbrella as far as I know. You have to have that GG Pass GG account in order to have your WSOP Live. It is linked.
Yep. Speaking, man, Arsenii just got raised 3-bet by Artem, who had a suited ace deuce and just perfect timing. He kind of knew it too. He like hated it. King 9 suited, folding felt bad, but calling wasn't the right time. And just that was it. Artem picks it up, and Arsenii not really, to be honest, Arsenii hasn't gotten to play a ton. He got there, the Queen King suited ace king. He stepped out, ran into it, got there, and he then just got we saw a big pots played, but he goes for it. He did take a stand there, made an aggressive move, and ran into a modest holding, but a hand that did need to call a6. And that was that. As Queen 4 has a question here. Does he want to be defending? No. 5-handed gets out of the way.
And all of a sudden, we are back to fairly condensed stacks, with the exception of Aleks, who has extended his chip lead there, courtesy of some big hands in the right moments. But the fact that our shortest two stacks are both at 2.4 million really does make things interesting here, as the pay jumps are bigger than they ever have been at this final table. With 5 players left, 141K locked, with 180K for 4th place. So a big 39K pay jump here from 5th to 4th. And pocket 7s arrive for our satellite winner, facing an open from the stack. Wow. And he goes with it.
You know, this time it's more chips. Same situation with ace 10. This time he does fold quickly, but it was for more bigs. And Tsintao makes a nice play there. So he's opening up a little bit. Never know too. People have goals. Maybe he's like, listen, I want to get top 6. I want to get top 5. Then I'll start going for it a little bit, because 7s, he didn't waste any time with it was not a clear cut. Like, it's a good hand. He should be, shoving's definitely a move. I'm saying for him, I don't think that was like an automatic thing to shove at that stack depth, like 7 with 7 left.
Yeah. And with, not to disparage Tsintao at all from any of my previous comments, he just really hasn't had the opportunity to get too much in the mix. However, now with a flush draw, he would not like to see a spade. Sometimes you don't want what you think you want, and danger alarm for Tsintao should the 5th shovel present itself. But instead, the open ender.
This is a good card for him. This is one of the paths for something good to happen. Although now the 7 or 8 is not good. He does pick up the 6 or the jack. So yeah, I think this has got all different types of possibilities on the river here, as Borovkov is going to check it. And he probably is going to check too, I'd imagine, based on how he's played.
He has so much hand, but we never have an ace here. It's very easy to get put in a bad spot. And instead, we end up with 8 high and questions to be asked of us on the river. With 1.3 million out there, it feels so bad to give up on this pot. We had so much hand, and now we're left with only creative ways to come away with the pot.
Yeah, again, frustration, just a little bit, kind of not seeing the other side, what's happening, but he's got kind of lucky with some of the runouts too. He was in bad spots with hands he had to play and where he was at, so could have been worse. He's still in it, and he's still got 2.2 million as Jack 10 suited. And he does shove. Yeah, that seemed was a good hand to do it. He doesn't want to raise, get blown off it. Wants to force some folds from weaker hands, and takes the play away from them. Ace 9 now. 6.9 million is going to open. And I like this 3-bet. He knows that Tsintao, he knows that Borovkov can kind of open lightly, right? That Tsintao's not going to really be playing back at him here and covering. So he does take a light 3-bet, actually gets a better hand to fold. Finds Borovkov, who's actually sort of up higher in his range, but still gets a fold. Nice selection. Nice timing from Arsenii here, and 2 3s is going to min raise.
Yeah, that was sexy. That felt like a statement because Aleks had visions of running away and starting to just lay the hammer down. And Arsenii says, not so fast. Big little here, 3-bet the small. Let's put a stop to this freight train that's running into us here, and takes a little bit of control back from Aleks. Feels like an easy defend. Here we are. 60% of a royal flush. Control of the pot, a c-bet gets it done. Tsintao watches more of his chips disappear to his left, and back into firmly the short stack position goes he. Might we see just another jam? Or is this too many chips in Arsenii's stack now? Probably. No, I'm wrong. The jam it is. Maximum pressure from Aleks. Look at this. Takes it down. Only a few hands left at this level. 5 more, 4 more. Pocket aces. Malinov unfortunately sees no action, but yet again the blades make their appearance and win a small pot.
King 9 8 9 gonna come out raising, and 8 9 off with this player in particular. Yeah, I think deep enough. Gonna probably peel. Both players with position so key. Although, Artem, I don't know. This is
Yeah, our hand is just so bad on this board with the 9-8. I wonder if a small bet would have been in order on the flop just to give ourselves any chance, but don't blame him for just waving the white flag immediately and getting out of there.
And then he takes a stab, makes a decent sized bet on the turn. Ace 4 here now. And, Tsintao, the shortest stack, might want to start considering peeling suited 8-4 suited there, right? The risk premium, needs to double to even get back to the next shortest. So he's got to get going here at some point. Let's see if Aleks gives one up, and queen 6 suited first in 10 bigs. This feels like a nice spot to try to pick up that 260 plus the 80. So he does get that through. Nice.
Big pickup, figures to be the best hand very frequently. Enough hand if it's not. And now a big collision perhaps incoming. Queens versus ace jack.
Yeah, this is frustrating when you're in tune to the game. Barakov's opening like crazy wide. He's a great player, and this is just a spot where the hand is so good, but you're somehow dominated, crushed. I mean, you could flat once in a blue moon, but I don't mind it. 5-handed, you're just going to pick it up often. Going to be the best hand. He is behind, needs help fast. There it is, the ace. This has been one of those days. Can it hold now after it gets there? 2 outer to the river, the chip leader versus the start of the day shortest, and that is going to flip the script. We got all of a sudden short stack Larin into the chip lead. To be fair, he did lose kings to ace 10, which were less chips. But yeah, Borovkov knows he's back to the drawing board here. And Tsintao is the shortest, but next now is Borovkov. So that has completely shifted the pay probabilities, if you will, if you were firing. For me, that was for you, that was not good, right? You had Borovkov. So that's your biggest shot. And he just took a huge hit. So
Yep. Only Larin. Is Larin the only player that neither of us have? Is that true?
Yeah, I got Arsenii and Artem. You got, so it's 2-on-2.
Yeah, and the chip leader is someone undrafted, the short stack of the day. That was a tournament changing hand. If Borovkov wins that, he's got 10 million almost and just absolutely running away with the tournament. And instead, back to the middle of the pack he goes. Oh, and that's frustrating when you're playing aggressive, when you're shoving lots of hands, you wake up with a monster, you get action, and then the ace, the dagger ace on the flop. And back to the drawing board we go, as you said. Wow, a straight for Larin gets called from Osmirko second pair. More chips to our new chip leader from bottom of the barrel to top of the bunch.
This has been exciting. I'll say last week was one for the ages, but we've seen a lot of get theirs too. This has been like an uncanny amount of the worst hand winning. And yeah, it's been a very interesting final table. I think it's been some great play, mix of aggression. We saw the tight fold early with the queens, but really it's been pretty high level. And Tsintao's done a good job to ladder up here.
Will Larin put the pressure on here with the ace-3 off? He does. Stepping right into the chip leader roll, but gets shoved on.
Snap shove, man. The gloves are off. Gloves are off. We got 200 of you have hit that thumbs up. I appreciate that. Just shy of that 183. Let's get this done today, boys. Let's have a nice, boys and girls. We got our international audience. We've seen a lot of new faces, a lot of the same too. And we got over 1,000 watching, and ace 5 going to rip it. King 10 calls fast, 3.2 million in the middle. This is an important one for all involved. Is it naughty, nice, or spice? That is pretty clean. Needs a king or a 10. That was a nice turn for Tsintao. He can do it. This guy can do it. I'll tell you what, sometimes you just see a horse in a race and you're like, this horse can do it. This guy is a long shot. He's not experienced. He's shown us not all the moves, but he's also come at the right time, right place, got the aggressive 3-bet in early, and he is in it. And he is no longer the shortest stack. What a makeout, what a breakout of chips here. Tsintao, hard not to root for him. Ace 7 suited. Get in there, Tsintao. Little raise, little min raise.
Can he immediately switch gears?
20 blinds, gets out of the way. I'll tell you what, Larin with the king jack of suited wasn't folding, so maybe he would have heard from him. But that is we are rolling.
What a roller coaster this guy's been on, right? Been up, been down, been short, in this thing for $1,000, and now he's playing for 375K basically up top, and keeps finding a way one way or another. When he's in the danger zone, he makes it work. And here we go. Borovkov at risk against the chip leader.
Ace 4 to 9s, gets a 4. That's not enough. Needs some clubs, some straight. The ace, though. It's an ace on the turn. A 9 is needed now, and this has got everything. This has literally got everything. And we are back to pretty even. Tsintao can't breathe. Malinov's not sure what's happening. Larin just would have had 10 million, and we are back on to Borovkov as the chip leader. So, wow. Pretty much you can't blink in this.
You do not want the best hand. Give me the 30%er every day in these spots because they're winning every time.
Wow.
All of a sudden, I like my chances. My 2 horses have chips. Let's go. Larin probes and gets the answer he was looking for, scoops the small pot against Tsintao on the path to recovery against that massive loss. Will Borovkov just put this one in as he's done so many times? Yes, and the ace deuce does not want to get involved. Well done.
Wow. Wow. This has been something. I mean, it's such a great analogy. I mean, it's such a great quote. The Forrest Gump, life is like a box of chocolates. But would you agree with that final tables are really like that because you don't know, everything's different. no matter what. It's never the same. The chip, who's got the chips, the positions, the payouts, the ICM, like the distribution. It's just you're never gonna see the exact same final table. It's just that's partly why it's so fun, right? Because you think about why is it so fun to watch that it's like, oh, okay, it's a final table, but no, it's just different. It's always different, and it's exciting. I think that is such a good way to visualize that. But yeah, it's been a good box today. We've gotten a nice batch. Last week was insane. This week is great. And Artem looking to go back to back. All the storylines: satellite winner, possible back to back, short stack. Larin could win. And then you got Borovkov looking for his first. And who else? Is there any multiple winners here now? I think we're going to see. Yeah, Borovkov has not won. Tsintao has obviously not won. He's never been here before.
Malinov
Artem has won. And Malinov has won one. So that is the breakout of the current players.
Yeah, we just whenever you come into a final table, like you said, there's so many factors, chip stacks, players involved, prizes up for grabs, and you can study and prepare all you want based on the stacks coming into it, and then chaos happens, right? There's always some chaos at a final table. Somebody steps out of line, somebody gets there, a massive flip doesn't go your way, and then everything changes. And who can adapt? Who can adjust? Who can take all those factors and put the pressure on at the right time, put the pause on at the right time? It's just so many chaotic things under the pressure of time banks, and who's up for the challenge of taking all that, solving the puzzle, and of course running well at the right time. And we love to see these 5 guys stepping up to the challenge. And, maybe there's a suck out or two involved, but regardless, here they are, and they're all that's left fighting for the top spot.
Yeah, it's so true. It is so true. I gotta say the you know what? No, speaking of enhancements for the game, let me know your thoughts on this, because this is something where there has been. Hold on, we might just see all the chips go here. Artem that's gonna go. Larin knows this is a qualified hand, and Artem with tens, this is gonna get snapped off here. Artem, your last week champion versus the start of the day short stack Larin. Huge pot, ace queen to tens. The ace comes. Artem is in trouble. He needs the 10 on the river. 2 outs, 1 to come. It's gonna be slow. Oh, it's a diamond, but it's no. It could have been good. Artem is out. We are down to 4. Giveaways are gonna start, and we have got the good game golfer claps. The respect to Artem. That guy really does open the game up and makes everyone on their toes. Pretty special stuff. So, wow. I gotta ask you a question as I'm going to start. Let me start the giveaways here, actually, as I get this going. So we got to get, let me see here. We got our 4th place. We're down to 4. This is, man, the Larin was the only really long shot. Everyone else was fairly priced, right? But it's pretty even. I mean, how much was his price today? Let's see.
16, something along those lines.
Yeah, 16 to 1. So okay, let me get this up. We're gonna do the first giveaway here as we are on the way. But I was gonna ask you this. So we're talking about enhancements. You could talk about the video cam, talk about maybe players being able to talk and add that broadcast challenge in. What if you had like the live dealer component? I mean, I've seen it for blackjack and stuff. Do you think would that be interesting, or no? Would it be too slow? If you had like a live dealer for the only final table for the GG Millions, like there was like a place where they could deal the cards out and you had a real dealer. Think that would be interesting or no? Or
so a real dealer, but all the players are remote?
Yeah. It's like an RFID, or like you do it in a way like it could be done. They do it, they do that for blackjack and for games.
Yeah,
like there's real dealers.
Of course.
I don't know. I think it could be interesting.
Yeah, interesting. I've never heard it suggested. I wonder how it would look. I wonder what you gain from it, what's the gain? Because the gain in blackjack is the interaction. By the way, Larin setting this trap here, and Aleks just stepping into it with a bad hand that he felt compelled to raise and is going to lose a decent chunk. It's just a matter of how much. Yeah, with blackjack you get the interaction with the players, and you get some, some comedy. With poker dealers, you really don't want too much interaction, and it's difficult with these 9 guys who aren't on camera either. I don't know.
It would probably be too slow too, right? Because like it would end up slowing the game down. I think. Yeah, I don't know. Maybe I'm just thinking like the camera the talking, right? You're not necessarily chatting with the dealer. Doesn't really add a ton other than it might look for the audience to see like a dealer dealing the cards versus being online. But yeah, I don't know. Just take it. It's like, again, GG's done so much. There's so many innovations. It's come a long way. It's hard to, you're always going to think of more, but it's in a great spot.
By the way, I say this, but instead 1.5 million into the middle from Aleks, and now it's not a preordained matter that Larin will win this pot, despite laying the trap pre-flop with the limp call line and flopping a very good hand. There's still the ace out there, which worries him, and a triple barrel from our opponent. So
I could
perhaps
see him
Aleks
calling
finds a
this.
way.
He's got a great card. He's got a great card to call with the Queen of Diamonds. It's a key card. I mean, it's just it'd be a hell of a call. That's a hell of a call.
Oh,
I just gotta
my
say that's a great
God.
call. That is a big grown man call right there from Larin. Not easy, but you can see why he did it. But 11 million, shortest stack to by far the biggest stack. He now has more than all the chips in play. Or I'm sorry, more than all the players combined, as he is on a mission here. And Tsintao is laddering and loving life. He is like he's picturing a heads up versus Larin right now. Wow.
$180,000 and some change locked up now. And might Larin get there once again? Jack Queen suited puts it against pocket jacks.
Queen
Life
Jack
on
to
the
Jacks.
line from
Arsenii. Oh, the Queen has been awarded, and another one now. He's drawing dead. The Jack's no good. That is a knockout. We are down to 3. The giveaway is underway. The keyword is GGWSOP space Terrance Reid space enter your GGPoker username. But hold that thought. We are down to 3. The podium has been arrived. The giveaways are going. It's all happening right now. This has been a ton of action in a very short period. Wow. Wow. And I'm gonna put the link one more time, give you guys a chance on X to retweet, get you in for a chance at 50 cash. You know, retweet, guess who wins, and tag a friend. That is the link there as well. But are we all in again? It's 8-5
Tsintao
to
is at risk
A7
now and is about to lose.
Hold on a second.
Oh, wait,
he needs a 4. We might be heads up. This is like, I'm literally come on, River.
Where's the 4? Be there. Oh, Tsintao, good game.
Borovkov, good game. First giveaway. I gotta choose the first winner here in a sec. We're already heads up. What just happened?
Well, I'll tell you what just happened. Tsintao just made $230,000 off a 1K satellite entry in his first appearance in the GG Millions. Well done, sir. But we are heads up for it all. And we got to.
Is this good? Well, I was just saying, is this all in right now? No, wait, Ace Jack. So he shoves. He won't call off. Okay, so he could have. Wow, sorry. Let me get the first giveaway. Let me get the second one going. There's 370,000 players were online, and the GGWSOP online is coming soon as well, and the bounty stuff's going. This is a lot. I gotta get the first winner out here in a sec. We're already heads up. We are behind. 183 thumbs up. Let's get that number over 200. Woo!
Fast and furious. Boy, the dominoes fell quickly there towards the end, didn't they? And heads up we go with about 4-1 chip lead for Larin. Coming into the day as the short stack against the guy that came into the day as the chip leader and looking to crawl his way back is Borovkov. Yep, coming in.
What a fun show.
Larin came in with 19 big blinds, only 4.9% of the chips, and has leveraged that short stack into this 4-1 chip lead for the title.
Wow. What a we got chip leader versus short stack. Larin with a massive lead, and Tsintao getting a big payout. So we really saw a lot fast. Got to catch up on everything here. Got a lot of notes here. This is exciting. That's how it goes too, right? You know it. You were there. You're battling the 25K. You're playing for 10 mil. You're there. It's like all that's slow. Nothing's happening. Next thing, it's a knockout. All of a sudden, maybe a couple go quickly, and you're like, wow. I'm like talking about a 500K, 400K pay jump to like playing for millions. Same thing here. It goes quick. You're battling. It's exciting, but now it's like you got the 10K seat plus a huge jump here. So they're playing for. What is that? 983 plus the 10K, 93K total here. very exciting. Heads up, and we got our first winner.
Yeah, that's the way it goes sometimes.
Yes, number 1 GG winner. There it is. I will put it in the chat. It is a long one. And that is Konstantina Schoff. I'm gonna get that wrong. It's very long. It's in the chat. Good luck. $50 coming your way. That's a ticket on GG. We got 2 more of those. Stay tuned for the keywords. I'll get the second one up in a second because we need to get down. We need to actually do both as we are already heads up. So I will just keep putting those out. And so far, heads up, Borovkov, though. I mean, how do you think their styles match up based on what you've seen? Larin kind of turned it on there at the end.
Yeah, I think Borovkov, well, now there's no pressure, right? ICM's out the window. We're heads up. We're playing for the win. Borovkov looks to me as if willing to just absolutely put pressure on whenever, appropriately so now. It's not hard to say go all in with a good hand. But he's been a much more aggressive opponent. Larin has just found the perfect spots at the perfect times. And I'm curious to see if Borovkov can get a double, that's when the game will really be on. But until then, stacks are so big at this point. We're playing 24 or 22 bigs effective. Borovkov's really looking for that one hand to fight his way back into this thing.
All right, you're absolutely right. Let me get the second giveaway going here. There it is. It is the GGWSOP online. That is the second keyword. You type in GGWSOP space WSOP and then insert your GGPoker username. Good luck. Boa sorte, any Brazilians out there. Did we not have a Brazilian today? I'm so used to it every day having one every show. I don't believe there was a Brazilian today. And actually, come to think of it, was there not an Austrian? That might be the first time ever if there wasn't, but I'm not, now I'm confused. Do you remember seeing in Austria? There wasn't a Brazilian, I don't think, today. But I'm
I
not
don't
sure about
remember. I
Austria.
don't remember it. But by the way, big pot here. Pot size bet on the turn on the double flush draw board when Borovkov turns 2 pair and asks for all of it. Can Larin find the fold, or are we playing for all the chips? Just lets it go, second pair into the bin, and crawling his way back is Borovkov. I don't remember. I definitely don't remember any Brazilian flags, but I don't
Yeah,
remember any
Brazilians,
Austria
I can
either.
tell. I don't know if there was an Austria today. I don't think so. Which is like that. I would actually bet money. There's never been a final table on the GG Millions without both, and almost never not in Austria. There's 4 or 5 Austrian flags because that's similar to like Mexico, Canada for US, where it's like people migrate there. So there's the Germans, there's other parts of Europe that go there, and that's where they like set up and get all situated. So I don't know. I'm gonna have to get a stat check on that, but I don't think that's the case. Yeah, no, it was. I'm gonna ask. I'm gonna get confirmation.
Yeah.
That'd be very interesting to see that. That's actually kind of amazing if you think about it. Like if you were to think about live poker, like WSOP, and you were to say that, like to say that there's never been a show without 2 countries at it, like that's like of a, that they've always had a seat at the table. That's pretty. It
Yeah.
doesn't work, but like take the last 50 WSOP main event final tables, right? Like it's a pretty international crowd.
But that's what I bet something comparable is, and I'd have to look back, but I can't imagine it's not true. Is the WSOP main event final table in Vegas not having somebody from the U.S.? I would bet money that there's been somebody from the U.S. every single one since its existence. So probably comparable here, if that's what you're saying, is there's been one every single time. It would be very weird to reach, in the United States, something that was born in the US and not have somebody from the US at that FT.
Yeah, I agree. I mean I'm saying both. I'm saying like to say that both of them were not there, one or the other even.
Yeah,
So
yeah,
that it's
sure.
saying US and Canada even crazier. But all right, Jack 4 Ace 8
Oh, I
giveaway
see. Yeah.
underway. Yeah, but yeah, you're right. It would be fun, it would be cool to look at the country like final table list lifetime for it. It'd be nice to see like the totals on that. Probably pretty interesting. Yeah, I'm trying to see if I thought we don't get the countries on there in the pregame. Oh, maybe it shows in the pregame show. Yeah, and usually, and obviously it shows on the table. I could just scroll back actually. I'm gonna scroll back to like early in the show. Let me tell you. There was not. There was no Austria and there was no Brazil. I can see right away. No Austria flag. I've never seen that. That is interesting. I just look back in the coverage. Wow. Okay. First time for everything. And GTO Wizard is back working. And the second giveaway we will get for you in a moment.
A bet favorite here from the 10-7 and a bet chosen.
Are you free rolling me on dinner as well? Larin was not picked and Borovkov is. So you are free rolling for a chance.
Good shout.
Here.
Didn't want to rub it in your face until it came to fruition, but yes, correct. Free roll on the dinner. Now I've never rooted so hard for somebody to come back from a 3-1 chip deficit. No offense to Larin and his fans. Great story here as the short stack finds himself in winner's position, but Borovkov means I get free food, so biased
There
a
is
little
some
bit.
on the line, and they're playing for some real money. But this is a Borovkov. Actually, either one's going to be a first time winner. So we do have a new champion as well on the show, which is cool. And Larin was 16.34 to 1, and Borovkov was 5.54 to 1 when we got our notes. So yeah, lot to root for here. Lot of excitement. If you got a good sweat, anyone have Larin in the chat? Anyone got this for the long shot? Put a little something on it, paying a nice payday. If so,
Nice pick up there with 5 high from Borovkov. Just c-betting, taking it down on the ace high board. And do we still do 20 hands even in heads up per level? Is that what we do in heads up play?
yeah, I'm trying to see where. Yes, that's not changed. That's how it is. So it does go quick. The levels go up. We have seen some long battles though. And the second giveaway, I got you guys covered here. 203. Hit the thumbs up. Appreciate that. I think this has been again it's always different. It's always fun. The 9 on the turn, didn't need it, but that secures the hand for Borovkov. Could get some bluffing from Larin with the queen jack. Doesn't do so. And 7 on the river will boat up. Didn't need it. Big part of poker, understanding what to do here. If you bet or don't.
A bet and a big size at that. We just have so much of the board locked up that I feel like small size, big size, 1/3, 2/3, either way, might get called at the same frequency by the hands that are calling us, but very often just going to get folds with the way that hand played out. I've been in Larin's position. I've come in with a 4.5 to 1 chip lead in heads up play and just lost almost every hand of consequence for the first couple orbits, for the first 10 hands. And it just feels like, come on, is this really how I'm going to run? I had this thing. I had it. And I've been where he is. But good to see him still fighting, still picking spots like that to be aggressive and not get ran over here. But not the dream start. Now we're down to a 3-1 chip lead, but still in firm control, despite seeing his opponent once again flop top pair. And a near, is this a pot size bet? No, not quite. 2/3. Another one over to Borovkov, over the 5 million mark. Are you a good geography guy, Jeff? You can identify the flags and the states and the countries, and how many could you get? You think if I throw every flag at you, how many are we talking percentage wise? Could you get right?
If you threw country flags?
Yeah, country flags.
Percentage, I think I could get I think I could get 80-ish, 85 maybe.
That's pretty. That's well.
think.
That's pretty good.
I think
I
so.
mean,
I maybe I'm not. I mean, I guess there's probably going to be some that's probably too high because I think there's like I wouldn't maybe 65, 70 probably is more realistic, but I don't know. What about you?
yeah. I feel like I could get all the big countries, right? Like all the European countries, North American countries. With that said, with like the Caribbean countries,
Yeah, it
and,
might be
the
closer to
African
50. It's
countries,
tricky.
I'd be
Yeah, some
worried. Yeah.
Africa, it's sort of like there'd be some guessing in there. And there's probably, I mean, there was 195 registered, maybe 210 or something, 200-ish countries in the world, I think. I don't know. It's like depends what you're looking at. I thought it was like 195 official, but
I, I'd be
yeah, maybe
happy
it's a
with
little more.
myself if I got 50%. I'd be happy if I got 100 countries right.
Yeah, I think that's a good over under actually. I'd have to that's not a bad exercise to do. Be fun. That's a nice flex too if you could end up get those. I used to have the 50 state capitals. I don't know if I could pull all 50 now. I definitely know over 40, but yeah, it's that's the countries is legit. Yeah, I see a lot of people here in this giveaway. We're gonna get the second one got here, and I gotta start the third as we see a Larin is, he's still holding his lead, but Borovkov is fighting. He's got the gut shot here. Jungleman says bet your gutters. Let's see if Five High wants to take a stab here, try to claim this pot. Very important pots for him, right? To miss here. It's like he's really making a claim. Jack 9 is sort of right in the middle where you're either way good or way bad. It's kind of this decision point, and he knows he doesn't want to double him up. He makes the call, but can he hang on or does Borovkov shut it down?
Boy, going to be tempting to try to get a jack to fold here. Can the near pot size river shove, near shove, get second pair to fold? That's the question because we're probably never
he's
getting
putting
a
on the
king to
line
fold.
here.
Here it
He's
is.
putting on the line. He does. Doesn't think long. It was in reach. Click call. Little Sammy Farha moment has a chance to just end it. Doesn't. The game will continue. And now Borovkov cuts it to less than 2-1, about 2-1 exactly. So what a play there from Borovkov.
Yeah, that's just the question because I don't think we're getting a king to fold, but it looks like our opponent has a jack after calling the double barrel and, ask himself, can I get a jack to fold here? Decided yes, risked it all, and now he's really in this thing. There's a fun, that drop the pin show online. Have you ever seen that?
Which one?
They call it drop a pin show. They do a lot of geography questions, a lot of short form content on YouTube. But they play this game. They introduced me to this game called Global, where you have to identify countries. As GTO Wizard pops up, let's pay attention. But if you're a geography nerd, it's a lot of fun.
Interesting. Yeah, that sounds sounds fun. I'm not sure I'm familiar with that specifically. Jack 8, Queen 5, GTO Wizard back working for us. And saying that should call here with the 5. Okay, that's reasonable. He got a 5. It's hard to make a pair in poker and hold them, and heads up poker. He does do that. Wow. Nice spike there from the Jack 8.
Wow, really interesting to find the check raise that was recommended by GTO Wizard. Got backdoor everything, got the Jack of Diamonds, backdoor straight. Really hard for our opponent to have a pair. And then just rivers the best, or turns the best hand immediately.
So much interesting there. 3/4 of the time recommending check, goes bet in a snap fold from Borovkov when I think it said 100% call, and he made an exploitative instant fold, by the way, there.
Wow.
Pretty sure that's what it said, 100%.
Yeah.
Right, second winner, Norbert M7448. Congrats, $50 GG ticket coming your way, and we will queue up the third as we are heads up and we are behind on the schedule. So I'll get that up in a sec. Must be subscribed, must hit the thumbs up in the tweet. You guys can retweet there. I'm gonna do it one last time for you. You guys can also we mentioned it a little bit earlier, but Terrance, you do have a YouTube channel. You do have a Instagram and X. Where are you most active? Where can people follow you?
Yeah. Most active on X, TJ Reid Poker, and Instagram TJ Reid One. But the thing that I'm really trying to grow is the YouTube channel. I've been doing it for about a year now. I do daily vlogs from the WSOP summer, and then vlogs about once a week for the rest of the year. It's long form content, 15 to 20-minute, bite size, a little bit of strategy, a little bit of entertainment, mostly poker. Although we'll slip in some other gambling now and then just to keep the people entertained. And you know, free to subscribe. We do giveaways over there and trying to really grow a community. I don't have any sponsor. I'm not pushing anything. I'm not trying to get you to sign up for any websites. I'm literally just doing it for the love of the game and just kind of as a personal passion diary, a la Andrew Nemi, Brad Owen style, the way they started and got it out. So it's always been something I've kind of wanted to do. I appreciate you mentioning it. You know, if you love tournament poker, that's what I mainly push on there. A couple hands a day, some friends, some interviews, some food, some gambling. I have a good time with it and try to interact with people in the comment section as much as I can. So would love to have you join. I call it the channel is just TJ Reid Poker, but the series is called Torching with TJ.
I'm gonna search that ad you right now. I don't think I torching with TJ. That's the name of the.
The name of the
There it is.
actual
I got it.
channel is
Yeah,
just TJ
TJ
Reid
Reid.
Poker, but yeah.
Got it. I just got you subscribed. Very cool. No, it's awesome. I think doing it's again it's so many people like the stats on like starting and then stopping. It's like to dive in, do it. I think it's fun. It's like a personal journal. It's just no matter what, whether you do it, however you do it, or for whatever reason, it's I give a lot of credit and to people that try it. It's I find it. I know I did a lot of YouTube stuff. I still do some, and it's fun, right? It's a learning about how to do it, how to post, what works, and also again from your own kind of selfish reasons. It's nice to have like the World Series blends together. Like there's like 4 years I did it every pretty much all my events I played. It's like fun to go back and look at, oh, I forgot like how that run happened. Did I get unlucky? Did I play bad? Did I do this? Did I do that? And like it's like kind of cool to like have that to be able to, remember as well. So I think it's funny the first one too. It's hard to start, right? It's like, yeah, you're like,
Yeah.
oh, is anyone gonna watch it? Like, what do I put? It's gonna be bad, it's gonna be this. Like it's a journey for sure.
Yeah, you get started and you're worried that just nobody's going to watch it and all this work is going to be for nothing. But that wasn't the case. Thankfully, people watched really quickly and we grew pretty fast last year. And how lucky was I to have started that the same year that I had my biggest score? So now that $3 million score, I'll always be able to go back and watch it, relive the biggest hands, the biggest
Like,
moments, what I was
it's so
thinking, what I was
cool.
feeling. Yeah, it was, and who knows, like, chaos theory, butterfly effect. If I didn't start that channel, I might not have ever had that score, right? Like everything would have been different. I might have played differently. I might have entered at a different time. I might not have ever played at all. Who knows? And so just the universe made it happen. However, whatever you believe in, I do believe that if I didn't decide to start the channel, I wouldn't have had that score one way or another.
That's awesome. Yeah, it is. It is cool. It is cool to think about. I think about that stuff all the time. Sliding doors, like when you register, how it works, like where, someone it's you can get lost in that, but it's fun when you, especially when it's good, right? When you have like good outcomes, and that's the thing, you don't know, right? You just don't know. So you might as well do it and have it, and then whatever it is, it's at least you do have that to hold on to. So here we see Queen 4 stepping in. Borovkov not going to be folding Ace 4 suited. The question is to raise or call. I think, flatting accomplishes a lot. It's also a good enough hand to shove. So he does do that. It's going to be 30% at worst, and he's going to pick up chips and knock it out played. So a nice find, 8 to 12. Things are tightening up. What are we talking? What place do you like? What's your kind of give me sort of your food type places, choices, a restaurant and or genre food.
Number one choice is always a steakhouse slash good cocktails, usually the best combo. Second tier, we're talking probably sushi spot. And then outside of that, pretty open to most things. But if you just land me in a random city and tell me what's your number one pick, take me to your steakhouse. That's what I'm going to go with. Every year for my birthday, I do a medium rare steak and whiskey. And you give me those two things and I'll be happy.
I love it. That's good. All right. So you got some restaurants you're already thinking about.
Hey, I mean, what city are we talking? Vegas, or am I going to have to follow you around the
Vegas,
world somewhere to
Miami,
cash in?
Bahamas, Bahamas. Speaking of Bahamar, I didn't say. I mean, I've been to both. I've been going a long time for like 20 years. To used to be at the Atlantis all the time. Bahamar at a stretch where it was doing a lot of the poker stuff, but it is like the Wynn. They basically it looks very similar to the Wynn. It feels like it's new, it's clean. There's different hotels and places within it, and it's. I would definitely say, as you mentioned, it's the stronger, like the more upgraded, newer property. Also, much closer to the airport, which is nice. Saves you about a half hour. Yeah, there. When you leave and come adds extra hour. It's nice. But yeah, here we go. GTO Wizard, Queen King 7-8 has a lot of claim to this board with open ended, and a 7 or 8 would be good. Larin is going ahead, taking control. King high in the lead, gonna bet. Saying to call always. Borovkov does
Ooh,
find a straight, and that is an action card. That is the one. Saying bet large or check. He does check. King Queen. It's one of the better cards to continuation on, right? He's got the jack now for a straight. He's got a king or queen being over. He doesn't know if it's good. And then the heart, which doesn't come in. And this is saying, look at this. Like, this is so much where you got to know your opponent. It's literally splitting all in or check, just completely polar opposite options here. And either one is suitable. Really depends what you put your opponent on. How they play. Do they have value, showdown value, or do they not?
Well, I like this split, but our opponent bet a hand he should have never bet on the flop, at least according to the wizard, and so probably shouldn't have just the king high here. In all reality, might skew those percentages if we were to node lock that hand being in there. But as it is, gets away without losing too much more after firing the one shell on the flop, and the straight comes in, and Borovkov again closing the gap, fighting back. We see why he's such a strong player, never giving up. 4.5 to 1 chip lead has turned into almost even stacks here.
Yeah, wide open. It is again the start of the day, shortest stack. A little less crazy, 19 blinds, but still a great story. And I will get the third giveaway going here. Sorry, I realize we are heads up, so that's time to do that. And we've had a lot of fun, Terrance. I hope you can come on again for the show. You're welcome anytime. This has been enjoyable, and we have had again, it's sort of like a forced study session. I think it's kind of fun to do it as well. I obviously do it a lot. I enjoy it, but I'm saying from someone coming in, I could see like I'm here every week, but I think that like I genuinely, this is like the way I study the most and I enjoy the most to learn in poker is like watching some of the best players do cool stuff at a big final table payout.
Yeah, same. I appreciate you having me, and this has been fantastic. I don't get to watch too much like cards up of online final table coverage, especially just full with all these crushers. So I agree. Like getting to see every decision they make on every street. How can you not absorb some of this? And just watch the magic happen. And a lot of times we watch live final tables and it's really slow. You don't see as many hands, and sometimes they're not all super strong players, so you have to parse out what is good and what is not. And here it's just really informative and entertaining at the same time. So appreciate you having me. Sorry it took so long to get here. Let's rectify that next time, and give you a chance to win your dinner back.
I love it. Yeah, well, you're looking good for it right now. It's definitely yours to take down. You flipped the script, and again, Larin, great player, Borovkov, streamer, plays high stakes cash. Got to kind of give him the nod. He's sort of taking the momentum here, and here he is now. And A6 with a strong hand does put pressure. Got the ace of spades plus the 6, and denies equity. You can see what they're playing for about 81,000 and change with the 10K Bahamar GGMillion seat in December. So over 80,000 playing for here as we will continue on very even. And the key word is in the air now. That is the $50 GG ticket. Third one for the day. GGWSOP space Super Circuit Montreal. Enter your GG Poker username. Good luck. That'll be the last giveaway there. And then the tweet, Jeff Cross Poker pin. You guys can retweet Terrance. I hope you retweeted it. You're eligible for the $50 retweet as well. So I'm going to give you that. If you happen to win it, we'll run it back. We'll double it up, but you are eligible for that. Where is? Why can't I see them?
Oh, a pretty big flop here, heads up. bottom straight against bottom two on a monotone board, so might not be as much action as we otherwise would have, but two very strong hands for heads up play. How many chips? Oh, on now talking about action killing cards, the Ace of Hearts comes out, putting 4 to a Royal and 0 hearts to be found. Likely check, check, I would imagine.
Yeah, that was the one. That was literally one of a few that would just shut it down.
Wow, still going for a second street is Borovkov. He just doesn't want to be put in a terrible spot on the river and decides, I would imagine now, just to
I mean,
check
look at this
behind.
board. The 8-9 is somehow good. This is like the craziest turn bet get called, and somehow you're good on that board. The board pairs any heart, a king. Yeah,
That's kind of a
flopping and
crazy
well.
turn bet, but I guess you're just kind of naming your own price for both streets, and then you can't get put into the blender on the river as often, and you can just plan to check back almost all rivers. Well done.
All right. I got you all queued up. Giveaway's good. Everything's good. Link there, good. 50 cash. We're set. Now we can just watch this play out as Borkov looking to start the day. Was not a start to finish win if he does win. He had a bit of adversity, but he is back into the slight chip lead in our short stack. Definitely the MVP for today, Larin, from ninth into at least seconds. And I guess Tsintao actually could argue that Tsintao for MVP. I think they're depending how this finishes. I think honestly, if I think you have to give it to Tsintao for MVP if unless Larin wins, but for just the performance to take for him to satellite and get third. But if Larin can go from ninth to first, that is very rare.
Yeah, agreed. Tsintao, obviously, you love the Cinderella story, like I said from the start. But if you go from short stack to champion, how do you not give the MVP to that guy? With honorable mention over to Tsintao. Either way, great performances by both players, and very happy for the satellite winner. Who knows how big that is? Seems definitely the biggest score on GG, maybe biggest score lifetime we just watched in front of us. Blinds have gone up 300K in the middle, about 20K total. So just about 66 bigs in play, and basically even split between these two. Sort of a bet and pray this hand is over from Aleks. Nothing working for us except for aggression and control of the pot. And once we get called here, got to be very worried. Plenty of draws present, though, including the diamonds and the open ender, which Larin has in his hand, is going to lead on this turn and get it done. Well done. Back into the chip lead he goes.
King 8, 10 8, King 8 suited here in the big 10 8. They are literally stone even. Slight edge now, Larin and King 8 suited. This is a pretty hand. I think Borovkov has option to call or 3-bet, but calling makes a lot of sense. It's just too good a hand. You don't want to be 3-bet, get 4-bet off. 10 8 with a better flop, however. Has a gut shot and in position. And doesn't bet.
This is why heads up is such a test. So tough, and people are uncomfortable sometimes when it's their first time there. It's so different, right? Oftentimes you're sitting there on the turn, you're like, how did I get here? We both have nothing, and it's just a test of wills and who's willing to pull the trigger and identifying the situation. I've got so many second places on my Hendon mob, Jeff. I would love to sit here and watch these guys all day.
I love it. It's fun, man. I'll tell you. I'll say this other thing about the final or watching these final tables. GG Millions is actually like the same thing. There's highlights. You can look at the replays. You can scroll through. You can always go and watch. But to actually be immersed, right? To watch it, call it, feel the timing, feel the tempo, be in it, make predictions, and like live it and feel. It's very different, right? Same as watching footage or to be actually see everything. It like gives you a much better gauge on what's happening, right? Than to just like scroll through hands. You don't really get to feel what's happening at the table. So it's a completely different experience. As we do see 4-5 here saying to check on the river as 4-10 is behind. And I think maybe the reasons there is like you got a nice bluff catcher hand. You lose the straights, you lose the flushes. Maybe you also don't you let him bluff, but he does go for the bet there.
That's a big swing, big pot there in favor of Larin. Yeah, that 6 of clubs was just kind of rough. All worse hands are going to hesitate to call us, and a lot of better hands get there. A lot of 2 pairs beat us now, and a flush is flopped for Borovkov, but not dead is Larin with the Queen of Hearts in tow. A small
I got a
bet.
question. You know, this is a stat I learned a long time ago. The odds to flop a flush when you hold a suited hand. Do you know that exact the odds?
Oh God. It's small, obviously. It's somewhere in the small one,
It's
2 point
hard.
something. I'm trying to do some quick calculations. I don't know. 2 point something. What is it?
It's 118 to 1. So that's
Oh,
a
less than
tough.
1.
Yeah, it's a
Less than
nice
1%.
spot to be in. But then look, even here he's against a still got a fade. He's got a fade. His opponent hits the queen too. This is nasty stuff. This is no way out, really. I mean, Queen 6 is like he's really needing this heart badly. Chess clock coming to play, not going to get it. This is going to be a huge moment for Borovkov.
Probably hates that ace, to be honest. Just so difficult for our opponent to have it. And likely kills our action if he doesn't. But maybe Larin will feel compelled to call anyway. That's what the wizard says to do.
Wow.
And if he does, we'll be left with very few chips in comparison with Borovkov. If he finds the fold, we're right back to even. Either way, this pot's going to Borovkov. It's just how much. Disagrees with the wizard, finds the
Wow.
laydown, preserves
Hey,
his chances
listen,
in this
when you
tournament.
diss the whiz and you get it right, it's extra respect because the whiz kid is usually right on point. So again, making nice exploits. We saw Borkov snap full the spot where he said 100% call was dead right too. So again, players playing above the rim. And again, Solver, I think that's like at first. I remember when GTO Wizard was brought to the show, it was a little bit like, oh, is this going to freak people out or is it going to look weird? But and it's sort of like just bringing people are using solvers, people are studying, and it's cool, right, to get to see. And it also showcases that first of all, the players don't necessarily always get it right what the computer says, but also necessarily they may know exactly what they should do and they do it differently. So I think that's kind of cool part of it is to illustrate that it's not necessarily like that's not how it's not just like yeah you do what that says and you win. Like no, it's good to know, but what is like said to be the best play, but you can deviate from it. And there's also always variations and it's just again it's a tool. It's not the say all be all. So
Yeah,
yeah, I
I
think
always
it's
find it
important.
funny because we sit here and we watch these guys, very good players, at a final table through a very tough field, and mistakes are made now and then. We can never demand perfection from ourselves. So when I hear like amateur-ish players or recreational players or people that don't study that much say things like, "Oh, I played perfect poker today," like you did not. We're all making mistakes left and right every single day. We try to limit them. We try to exploit when appropriate, but it's so hard to play perfect poker. It's impossible for a human to do so. So it's a matter of limiting our mistakes, taking advantage of the mistakes our opponents are making, and just trying to be aware of what the baseline is. But, trying to execute a perfect strategy or claiming you did so is just impossible. So when these guys get it quote unquote wrong, there's no judgment, but it is it is a learning opportunity together that we see what the solver would do in said situations, and then maybe why the opponents do something else.
Agree with that a lot. It's a lot of what you're saying is spot on in my book as well. I think people at home have their thoughts and opinions, but that's what's great. It's good for people. You don't always have to agree with everything, and make your own choices, make your own assertions. But it's good to know. It's definitely good to learn and study and talk poker and learn poker. And we are back. I mean, literally, this can't be more of a sweat. We are back to basically 10-9 in chips right now. So 10.7-9. And GTO Wizard is working overdrive heads up.
Well, this is a big flop for both players. Heads up, open ender with the backdoor flush for Larin in position against top pair and the straight flush draw, which won't come in because the Jack of Hearts is dead in his opponent's hand. But goes with the raise, a small sliver, approved. Oh boy, the flush gets there.
Yeah, I mean, Jack 3 was speeding. It's got a key card, but it's drawing to 0%. And Borovkov here is saying to check. So betting is mandatory according to the GTO Wizard. It just depends how much and what sizing. Do you go small size, which is saying that's what they would prefer? You could also go large. Let's see what Larin does.
And a bet makes sense, right? Once we continue, we hold the Jack of Hearts. We've got a blocker to a straight. We got a blocker to a flush. We cannot win this pot very often if we don't bet, right? We just don't get there frequently enough. So we got to give ourselves another chance. And oh boy, we're firing chips into the abyss now as the Ace of Diamonds rolls off. Will another shell be warranted?
Ooh,
because we
it
know it
is
won't get
saying
there.
all in. That is the recommendation. And every time, all the time. This is not 60% of the time, 100% of the time. This is 100% of the time. Now, Larin, he's been known to slow it down. Can he do that, or will he just rip it and grip it in, and it will be a snap call if he does? It's tough to wave that white flag too. There's a SPR of 1. Do you give up by checking? Do you maybe finds another size, not all in? But I don't know. I mean, it feels okay. He does give up, and again, gets it right against the grain, but would have been knocked out. So call it being scared, call it being dialed in, whatever you want. You can frame it how you want, but he's making the right decision, because that would have been GG, or basically GG, right?
I was Googling steakhouses. Yeah, I was already getting my order. I was making reservations, and here we are again. Preserves the stack. Wow, that ace felt like a scare card too to bet. It felt like the perfect spot to go all in. Instead, saves the stack yet again. 2-pair for Borovkov now.
All right. We are getting a third giveaway. Got to remember, I'm going to get this done here. Usually, let's get it to, can pick the third as we are heads up. And it's pretty even, but still, we see as it could be over in 1 second. So, GG WSOP Super Circuit Montreal. Talk to me. That's my favorite stop, Montreal Playground Poker. In my career of poker, I've had great results there, and I just love it for all the reasons. It is an amazing city as well. Playground's great. Have you been there? Are you going? And tell me about that stop, because it's a super circuit.
I will. However, I think this might be getting all the chips in the middle. If you want to take a second here.
King,
Two
queen
massive
to
hands.
ace, king. 38 seconds on the clock as well. This is a big one. I don't see any way. It's okay. Just call.
Oh,
wow. And he gets a
boy.
flop that might allow no, king, queen. Yeah. I mean, it's pretty, they're shallow. I don't see it not getting in here. Borovkov, he could taste victory if this goes as we believe. I don't see how Larin, I guess a diamond, you call and a diamond comes, but
only a call on a diamond is the only path to survival here. But and once he raises, Do we just get it in, or do we call and keep his bluffs in? You just got to worry for action killing cards, but he does see a fairly safe four of spades. This could be it, Jeff. This could be the one.
It seems very much so. 5.4. He's got top pair heads up. Ace King has him. He checks back. So now, though, the only way has got to be the ask for all 2, 3, 4. We got 3 diamonds, the nut diamond, top pair, top kicker versus top pair, second kicker. 30 seconds on they each have 30 seconds on their chess clock. This has been a true battle. And is this where he just says all of it? Oh no. Oh my goodness. He's gonna get spared here. No? He's gonna get
Wow.
spared. He's
How?
not gonna rip it, right? He's just gonna call. I think it's a big pot. He loses to some hands. It's not quite good enough. I don't think this. Wow, we
How
don't
does he
see all of
not?
it. That is an interesting hand.
How does he not go broke there? My goodness. Top pair, second kicker on a flush draw board with less, like 60% pot on the turn, and somehow escapes with still 3 million in his stack. That's crazy talk. I thought it was over. I avoided answering your question because I thought that was the final hand. I'm sorry. To answer it quickly before we get into that situation again, I'm not going this year only because we have a few new stops within the US, which I signed that I have to attend that unfortunately overlap there. So
You get to attend. You get to attend.
I must. It is compulsory, but I also enjoy doing so. It's my own personal goal to attend the inaugural stop for every single new space that we go to. So unfortunately, those overlap with Playground. As much as I would love to be there, I've heard nothing but fantastic things. I've met with those room managers. Those guys are
awesome.
fantastic.
JK and Phil Saban, all them, amazing. I've been going there a long time. The place I was there when it was one little room, and then the next time I went, it was the warehouse, like the whole thing. So it was like a big shock to see that play out, but really cool card room in Montreal. And again, a great city too. Montreal, just an amazing city. If you haven't been, highly recommend it. As we see King Jack 7 deuce, and Larin now, the script has been flipped. This is 16-3, and he is in a world of hurt. But again, he's going to be happy no matter what happens. I do think Tsintao gets MVP if he takes seconds for the day. Borovkov would have very tough task to go wire first to end first. He didn't have a huge lead against the field, but he has found a way to get himself into the lead here at the end where it matters most. All right, third winner coming up. I'm going to announce it. It is All Stars Clips. Congrats to my friend, $50 ticket. That is the third winner for today. The tweet is still live. Pin Jeff Gross Poker. You guys can retweet. Guess who wins? 50 cash going to get sent for that. Your choice how you want to get paid. And a 16 mil to 3.7 mil, so 4 mil, 4-1 lead for Borovkov. Going to shove the ace 9. And 9-4 suited, limping a7. Going to probably just kick it up to 3.5, 4x, or shove. One of the two does that. What? Tell me about shoving there versus raising, not all in. Like, almost don't you think you want to induce, or is it just to be balanced? Do you want to, maybe he's going to call off worse too, like just king tens or?
Yeah, I just think there's so many chips in the middle. There's 750K in the middle. It just almost probably any two, like it almost looks stronger to raise non all in, and we're happy with an ace heads up just to get it all, I would imagine, and play for it. We're never folding if we raise anyway, so I don't think we're not deep enough to raise and then fold. So when that's the case, if we're never folding our raising range, then just put it in. I don't know that inducing does much. At least that's, we're 350K big blind, less than 10 big blinds effective.
No, not necessarily to induce to like get him to shove, but maybe that he would just flat like with the worst hand. But I guess a7 doesn't play so well post flop. You're out of position. But if you do let him call like Jack 10 or Queen 10 off there, but as played, he is going to rip it. And Queen 9 he says good luck. It's not a tease. He is in there. King 4 off, Queen 9 suited. Fairly fair fight. The 9 pairs. Takes it into the lead, 6 on the turn, needs a king only, or we're going to continue this party. It is a jack. Not yet. Not yet. We will keep it rolling here. 6.7. It is still in there. Queen 9 gets it. The big get there.
Did you expect anything else from the way this final table has gone? It was never going to be easy. The worst hand was always going to spike a pair.
There has been an uncanny amount of the hand behind winning today. That is for sure. But we are, let's see, 6 o'clock. What is this? 7 start 3:15. So this has been a long one, no? 3:15. We started. Wow. It's long, isn't it? Is this been 3 hours 45 minutes? No. Am I
I don't even remember what time we
I'm
started.
on the wrong
Time isn't real.
I'm in a different time zone now. Let me just think about this. 6. No. 2:15. I think it is 3 hours. Is it? I think it's 3 hours 45 minutes. It might be 2:45 though. That seems more like. Oh no, it's
3 o'clock Pacific right now, 6 p.m. Eastern right now.
6 Eastern. Usually start at 2:15 Eastern. Yeah, I think it's 3 hours 45 minutes. That seems crazy. I can't even do the math right now. I'm like trying to stay. It's been a good long show. It's been fun. It doesn't feel long, but it's been long. So 3:15.
3 hours 45 right now from start of maybe pregame show. I'm not sure about the entire final table.
Right. That's what we're talking. That's the difference.
Yeah.
That's right. So it starts at 3:50. It's been 3 hours, 10 minutes. That's right. Of play. That's exactly right. Ace 10, Ace 9. This seems like, this is going in. Larin's not folding.
Yeah,
Ace
this
10
is
to
going
Ace
in.
9.
Here we go.
Cards on their backs. It is a big one. Ace 10. Oop. Ace, Jack, flop, turn, king. Are we talking chopping? The spade is in play.
The queen.
A 4. Chop it up. Keep it going. Let's keep it rolling, Terrance.
Survival for Larin yet again. He avoids the throes of death. Sometimes for some tight folds, sometimes from not putting it in when he should have, and now from chopping it against a better hand, he finds a way to survive yet again.
This is a time bank situation. They both have 26 and 23 seconds, so this is possibly 00 time bank chess clock. To remind everyone, that doesn't mean you're out. You just get 5 seconds to act each street. We have seen several heads-up battles on 0 chess clock. That also contributes to the length of the show, obviously. When the 15, 12-minute clocks a lot of the players are using or goes down. Sometimes last week they barely used. This week, these players have used their entire clock plus the other players. So yeah, it does, can be a wide range in the amount. We're at the 350K blind level. That is big blinds. That is certainly on the high side, as we will see another hand, 7.5, creeping back to make it a game. King 3 to 9-7. Wow, we had two shots there where it would look like it could be over. It's going to keep on. Larin doesn't want to stop believing.
Both players have had chances to win this thing, and both players have found a way not to. Both times, 3 hands now, it looked like it was going to be over, and still we play on. So anything can happen, like you said. Can't get frustrated. The title is within grasp. You have it in your hand, and then your opponent doubles, and all of a sudden you got to get back to work. Cannot celebrate early. Got to stay locked in. Let's see if Borovkov can do so.
King 10 suited. Pretty looking hand here at 2-6, one of the worst hands in poker. GGWSB Circuit Montreal. That is going to be a big event. I know Daniel Negreanu's going. I think I'm going to be getting there as well. I went like 3 to 4 times a year to that spot for about 8 years, and then COVID happened. Haven't been back and missed it there. So looking at that, I know it's a 2-week series. It does overlap. I think there's multiple, right? That's how big the circuit WSOP is getting. There's multiple stops, multiple regions going on. What's it, Mexico? Is the one?
We got Montreal basically overlapping Mexico, and then a couple others happening stateside as well. I'm going to be in Virginia, and let's see. I'm bouncing from Cherokee to Atlantic City to Virginia, I believe, is my path.
Wow. It's a lot of travel. That's you married, kids? I think I asked. No, you do not. You're not married or a kid.
Yeah. No kids, but my wife is here. She's a doctor here in Northern California. So we've very different life. She's stable, 9 to 5, Monday to Friday, and I'm traveling all over the world in the chaos that is tournament poker. So we balance each other out pretty well, but zero
Does
kids
she know?
helps that. Yeah.
Yes. Does she know poker? Oh, this could be it. This could be it again. Ace eight suited. He's gonna min raise. Ace six could just jam. Yeah, he's gonna jam. This is Ace eight suited again ahead. It's a game of potential chops in this situation. Ace eight suited on the flop though, pretty good for a no chop. Turn 8, gonna take him now a 7 only, or this is over. It is
Not
it.
there.
That is it. Borovkov, and you got yourself a dinner. Borovkov's got that title. He streams, he plays high stakes, and he is a champion. On to the next, he says. He has been in great form. We don't get the repeat winner with Artem. We don't get the satellite winner. He got a huge score, though. Took 1K up to over, what was it, 204 some there. You're gonna see it. 230K. Tsintao gets it done. Larin started in 9th. Larin takes second in a start of the day chip leader, finishes it off, gets that 10K Bahamar seat to boot for the GG Millions in December in Paradise, the Bahamas. So that is a look at the playout. Velasevic got knocked out, folded queens. That action was open 3-bet. He 4-bet, 5-bet jam from your now champion. What could have been if that had gone in there? It could have been a completely different shift, as we will never know. Like Kanye said, guess you'll never know. We don't know. We'll never get to see that play out of the stream. But Terrance, tell me your takeaway, your thoughts. How did it go today? What were you thinking?
You know what? There was a lot of action early, like you said, people trying to separate themselves. That ace king hand was massive one way or another. He was either going to play a big flip or he just took down a big pot. And then really, Borovkov really ran that lead all the way to, back into a few handed. And then he lost with pocket queens. And when he ran into somebody hitting a king on him, if I remember right, yep. And was put to the test because it's easy to, when everything is going right. But then he took that big hit. He was no longer chip leader, but that didn't stop him from clawing his way back, including overcoming a 4.5 to 1 chip deficit in heads up play. So really earned that title today. Some fantastic play, some creative plays, a lot of suck outs. And in the end, our chip leader to start the day closed it out. It was a fun ride to get there.
Yes, it was a completely wide open final table. It was really anyone for the taking. The chip leader did take it down. Ultimately, we appreciate all of you watching. Congrats to the winners. 3 tickets were given away. The tweet on Jeff Gross Poker pin. You can still retweet. Chance 50 cash. Appreciate all of you. Big show next week. Always the same thing. Big guests, big name, big prizes. And of course, we will be here on Tuesday. Same time, same place. Big shout out to Terrance Reid, who did get a $3 million score last year in Paradise. We'll see him in the Bahamas. Dinner, that is on me. Appreciate the time. Thank you so much. And I'll see you again soon. You're welcome on the show anytime. Love having you. Thank you for coming.
Thanks, Jeff, for having me. Thanks, everybody. We'll see you soon.